it should have been as easy for him. But we're going to see the same bans and even the same opening pick. Another Chen first pick, so we'll see the adjustments here. I think all 6 bans are actually the same. At least I know Final Tribe banned the same 3 heroes.
Yeah, Final Tribe also would pick first pick.
Yep.
So they got that one again, by the way. So it's the same as previous game.
I don't even think they played that, like they picked that bad on Infamous' side. I thought their draft was pretty good, personally. It just seemed like execution and like team fight coordination and stuff like that. And maybe like map movement, not necessarily knowing which sides to predict. Night Stalker just uses ultimate, sorry guys.
You're the...
I wonder if the... I assume that the
oh, that's an Earth Shaker right there.
First to
Earth
Shaker.
Shaker?
Yes.
Wasn't that Elder Time?
It wasn't Elder Type.
Just kidding.
Yeah. Way
No, they
deeper.
sound a lot. Yeah.
His, like Earthshaker's more of a gravelly kind of voice.
Yeah?
Like he smoked too many cigarettes maybe. Whereas like Elder Titan's like, yeah, this guy's obviously a deity.
Elder Titan is more obvious as a number 2 pick though. So that helps them. They are 4 and 6 with the Elder Titan in 7.07.
I'd say one thing that Elder Titan is extremely good at is his counter initiation, and maybe that would help them slow down when they're getting run over in mistakes, perhaps.
Yeah, so it's going to be a Pablo Chen this time, I guess.
I wonder if he plays the Chen. Maybe he'll just take the AA because...
Oh, dude, I would love that, dude. I want to see some cool AA build. Like some
Meteor
cool
Hammer
build.
AA.
Well, that, yeah, actually, that actually works.
Yules,
cold
cold feet,
Cold
meteor
feet actually,
hammer.
yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's like 8 seconds of disable right there.
Or,
And the extra damage as well.
or another stun. Let Cold Feet land first, and then Meteor Hammer.
There you go.
All the possibilities.
Doesn't mean they have a support duo that doesn't really have any stun. I mean, Chen can have some creeps.
You need stuns with AA.
Yeah.
Yeah, spell
Otherwise,
amp at 10.
you're not landing Ice Blast.
Spell amp at 10 with Meteor Hammer, that's OP.
There you go. I think AA is you always want like that initiator who's going to guarantee that you can set up your Ice Blast from the start.
Yep.
Which is where they're going to have to get that from their cores. Here's like Dragon Knight, I feel like could be the AA. You have like a very easy, obvious target you're going for. Like, oh, this guy's Dragon Tailed, we focus him. You Cold Feet, you Ice Blast, boom, dead hero.
Sand King Tiny are the best, but they're gone.
It's a Bat Rider, I guess.
Could be.
About no, I don't know if you want CK versus ET, but
Right. It could even Clockwork again. Worked out well for them last game.
the second phase bans by Infamous are a bit interesting.
Yeah.
They banned the Furon last time as well, so I guess it's just something they're expecting. Don't know about the Puck.
Puck is very good against Elder Titan. Like, Elder Titan is kind of useless against Puck, I would say.
This feels like the 5 position every single Infamous game. I don't think we've really seen them without Disruptor.
I feel like it's the most picked of the tournament or something. It's been like every series.
Yeah.
I can find that out for you if you want.
Unless the Naga is picked in first phase, then it gets banned.
Very stable 5 position.
And it's got a built-in Meteor Hammer. He's actually just holding it.
Tied with Tiny and Death Prophet, most picked. And tied with Tiny for win percentage, both 64%.
Oh, Tide. I thought you said like Tide Hunter.
Oh no, Tiny, sorry. Tiny Death
No, I
Prophet.
meant Tide. Like same amount of matches played.
No, Tide has only played 4.
No, even
You are just making this worse here.
when you said
Doing this
Tide,
on
what?
purpose.
I'm so confused.
Equal points as in Tide,
Oh,
not Tide Hunter. I was. That's what I thought you were doing, and then you thought I was doing that. That's. Well.
It's late here, okay? I think the match between Fnatic and Navi took a lot of our adrenaline, a lot of our energy away. But yeah, tied with 11 matches played.
They're probably thinking about Jonas's hero now. He's going to have a lot of work to do. I mean, they usually, this is what I was saying before, they seem to just be okay with putting that kind of pressure on him. Like giving him a lot of responsibility in a game because he usually does pull through for them. And he's going to have to do like very good setups this game to sort of enable the other heroes.
How about a Bat Rider?
Yeah, I think bats.
It is a Bat Rider. Guaranteed.
Especially with the, yeah.
That is like the...
Sure looks good, yeah. Bat Life Stealer, why not?
Think they can counter pick? Do you think they can just preemptively take the bat?
Stinger want the bat. Yeah, against Life Stealer, absolutely.
They've-
Sounds
Yeah.
pretty decent. Not bad against Chen, you can kind of Firefly around and not worry too much about ganks.
And Stinger's bat's pretty good, right?
Yeah, I feel like that's not a terrible option. There is other vehicles and they'll find another option for Jonas, but if it's the best one there, and you want him back, go for it. But they went terribly.
Ooh.
Okay.
Team River's Lifestealer.
Yeah, good against EA sometimes as well. If Final Tribe goes for more stuns and disables and stuff, they can certainly pick it off with A, but it's a good pick.
It's kind of like you have that last pick of the draft, you normally expect that to be the big carry. I guess they're worried about it being banned, but because it does still give a lot of room for Final Tribe to respond and kind of counter the TB.
It's definitely one of the nice things about picking Lifestealer in the second phase, if it already matches up alright, that very often you just need like a high physical damage carry, and they don't. The usual one is TB, but it always gets banned in the last phase.
By the way, Lifestealer hasn't won yet for the Final Tribe. They've picked it 3 times this patch, or 707, and
well,
all
it's
3 were
Infamous
losses.
lane.
No, I meant Lifestealer, Final Tribe.
Yeah. Final Tribe did not. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. That's my bad.
That's okay.
I'm confused.
I mean, again, it's late. We're good.
It's a little late. The chart is on the right, that's why I got confused.
Yeah.
They're messing around, they instantly pick up the TB counter. I'm not really digging Final Tribe's draft. Doesn't really feel like there's much synergy. Things don't really come together. You haven't got that. I mean, I guess you can get the Infest bomb with your last pick, but Tinker with Lifestealer, I don't know. It's no stuns as well. Like this draft doesn't seem like it's come together. It just seems very reactionary with the Tinker at least, and the AA pick.
Chen's running at you. He's diving tower. All of a sudden, one of the neutrals explodes. It's actually Lifestealer.
Yeah.
And the
Boom.
other neutral
Tank.
will have
There
the
we go.
Tinker teleporting on top of it.
Which one is Lifestealer in?
They all just appear at once.
Yeah, 3 heroes
It's a
all
mind
like that.
game.
And then you got the AA blast, so all of a sudden there's four things you have to worry about right in one spot. Scary times.
Bad
Bad Rider
ban.
banned, that's no surprise.
So they've got okay Tinker solutions already. Like ET, Astral Spirit can scout him when he's blinking in trees, the glimpse back, the silences, 2 silences at that, so I don't think you're forced to like try and pick some kind of big Tinker counter with your last pick. You want to just try to pull your draft together, but with that said, heroes like Beastmaster could be good, Clockwork is fine.
Final Tribe could just go clock again. Oh, Sensor, okay. They've liked this pick. They've done well with it before.
Yeah, that's a Jonas classic.
Covenant's not feeling it as much.
He needs to get into it. Yeah, no, Air's leading the way, and he's put his heart into that.
10 seconds remaining.
The Centaur is something they pick often versus Death Prophet. Against Terrorblade, it's also potentially really good. They needed an initiator to set up for Ice Blast, and they've done this before. Just honestly, the major issue maybe is that Lifestealer doesn't have a great bomb target early, but if there are 10 creeps and he can also grab a creep of his own, I think that gives him a potential way to initiate. And if they do land a stun on Terrorblade, he should be bursted if Tinker is there with A. And they can't really defend this other than like Hoof Stomp being really ready to go from the Elder Titan, or maybe like a Silence.
Could try and get a save like a LC Abaddon type pick if they really want to.
I think no matter what they pick, they're going to be under a lot of pressure in the lane stage. We saw the Chen do that. Chen's just going to do that here.
Oh, they already have 2 supports. I was going to say Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon off lane. Yeah, LC is basically, I guess, the other equivalent, but I don't think that's really a hero you want to play against Lifestealer. It doesn't sound very fun. Even against Chen, it's not fun. Is Omni in the pool? That would be it. No, that's been banned.
Yeah, banned.
They're bad, yeah.
Yeah, those are like most of the protecting heroes. Tide Hunter,
Would you consider that a protecting one?
in that he can frontline Ravages like stop the fight guys for 2 seconds at least. Maybe could work.
Final Tribe actually banned a Nyx, so they were concerned more about a hero that's going to annoy their Tinker.
Kill A, kill Chen, all those things.
I'm not sure that's the priority if you're in Mr. Shoes. I mean, great, it's a nice perk for a pick, but I think more than anything, you just need to get something that's going to, if anything, be more defensive and reactionary.
Ooh.
Vision, that's one way to protect your cores, is having vision and seeing them
offlane?
coming in. It's a Night Stalker core.
Stinger is playing the Night
Unless they
Stalker.
swap it, which is possible.
Is this enough? They need to make it that 3rd game here in the quarterfinals. They are trying to do so with the Night Stalker here for Infamous. Is it enough, gods?
With side with Final Tribe, they just looked like the better team in Game 1, even when Infamous had a good draft. Saw Hanskin's Gen dominate. Think it was going to do the same again.
What needs to happen for Infamous to do well here in this potentially final game here, Kevin?
The Night Stalker needs to snowball a little bit. Like potentially just kill AA a lot would be one really good option. Just because, especially like first night time, he's way more mobile, so they can maybe kill him.
Let's find out if that Night Stalker can make those rotations and make sure that they force out that third game over to Capitalist and Blitz.
Well, there weren't too many options to hunt down a Tinker. I was thinking maybe a Clockwork, just like last game, but it turns out it's going to be Night Stalker instead. An atypical pick for the offlaner, but Stinger, he likes those kind of aggressive heroes, and hopefully he'll be able to perform on it a lot better than his Brewmaster from last game.
I think so. I mean, that was a rough game one for him. I think he just lost the rhythm of the game more than anything. Like, he didn't see a lot of opportunities. That was a little bit off, but.
And they are going to set him up for success here. They're doing another aggro tri-lane situation and giving their Night Stalker the safe lane. Is this, like, what part is this to give the Night Stalker a good lane? Is this because they want to have a Terrorblade versus Lifestealer matchup? What is this?
They definitely want the Terrorblade against the Lifestealer, I think.
Okay.
Or maybe they think that
seconds to battle.
there's going to be an aggro of some sort. I think they want to keep the Chen up here, though, similar to what happened in Game 1.
Right.
This is more reminiscent of something like we saw EG start to do, and a lot of teams follow suit.
Yeah. They don't want to be run at by a Centaur Chen in the off lane. So instead, they will take the off lane themselves. We're going to have a Death Prophet versus a Tinker matchup. Do you think this is a good Tinker game?
I think that any game where you get to play against a Terrorblade is almost always a decent Tinker game. Because you always have some sort of purpose in the game.
Then why don't we see more Tinkers? Because about half the games at PGL's Bucharest, only about half of them had the Tinker band after Terrorblade was picked up.
Not sure.
Well, I know it's a good question if I've stumped Blitz Dota.
Give me a second, I'll think about it later. All right, Pablo.
All right, no, hold on.
Okay.
Guess what Pablo's up to, Blitz?
Pablo is trying to snipe the courier.
You would be absolutely correct.
Surely they've learned.
Didn't even have to look at your screen for that one.
Surely they've learned from this. There's no way. If you let him get away with this time, that's on you.
Well, I think it was on them the first time around, considering the lengthy amount of history that we have with Pablo and courier hunting. And you are correct. They have learned something about this. They're going to run the courier up to the top lane to see if they can actually free up that hard camp and get themselves some pull action.
Yeah. Pablo is wasting quite a lot of time on this now. Meanwhile, his Tinker mid is...
He's really suffering.
Yeah, he's
In fact, he's going to get glimpsed back. This may be a death with the Thunderstrike. Papito's going to be able to catch him out with the Spirit Siphon, and that's another First Blood for Papito.
Yeah, reminiscent of Game 1. And up at top, hey, what makes this so obvious is there's no pull happening. The A is not shown in any lane. And once again, the Chen, forced to be up here, does not want to be in this position. Gonna be pretty happy about this overall, though.
Yeah, certainly now Infamous can just run a full tri-lane
the
versus...
rune is still there.
Guitaro's really far forward. The Chen is rapidly closing in from behind with Hellbear, ready to go with the smash to slow him down. A big-time nuke, and that'll even out the score 1-1.
That Elder Titan walked all the way back, ran into the rune spawn, actually, as Hanskin.
All right, he's going to give him a little punching action, pick up that 2-minute rune. Both those bounty runes will end up going to Infamous.
Yeah. Schofield gonna drag some of these creeps, gonna run into a regen rune. As that bottom lane, Centaur is doing quite well as expected. We saw how much impact Jonas and Von had in the previous game. Stinger, though, this time on a much more active hero, much more straightforward, I think.
Another go here in the top lane, going for the Disruptor, slowed down by both the Chen as well as the Lifestealer. Barely able to catch him with the Stomp, but unfortunately, a frozen up Disruptor can do nothing about that anyway. Schofield is actually still in trouble here. And he will be brought down as well.
That is another easy kill. This tri-lane has been largely successful. And the last one, it felt a bit different because it was a morph they were trying to gank. This time around, it's a Terrorblade. Much easier to deal with, and even though the AA spent so much of his time trying to snipe that courier,
you see
Pablo's
this?
Still effective.
Hanskin sent the Ancient Apparition back, but he only had 500 gold. So Pablo buys his boots and has Hanskin buy him a TP scroll so he can come back in the lane. And he also bought the ward, of course, because what else is Hanskin going to be doing with his gold?
Death Prophet gonna go for a Soul Ring. Not the most common of items, but have seen it before. Gonna just spam out this Tinker as much as possible.
Elder Titan coming in from behind, going to be able to hit another stomp. This is a repeat of game number 1 where they just continue to gank the mid lane over and over and over again. Era is actually going to be able to get away from this one with the healing salve. Turn around onto Schofield. He takes a lot of damage from the Marksman Machines and the tower, but no levels in Heat-Seeking Missile, so Era won't be able to take a kill off of that.
Yeah. Easy does it so far. As Pepita has that Soul Ring, just looking around. Does have a lot of CS already, up to 22 tops in the game, and the Night Stalker is not that far behind, as looks like he wants to try to get aggressive. Pablo here, gonna run into Miku.
So what do we do with the Night Stalker core the first nighttime? You think he just farms?
I think he should gank top. The problem though is it's not an easy kill by any means.
Yeah. I mean, he's currently doing really well in his lane. He's actually 25-5 compared to the 20-3 of the Centaur.
It has to come down to the courier usage.
Yeah. Well, top lane would be ripe for a gank because they're currently trying to catch the Disruptor. Again, Miku is going to be going down. Ancient Apparition and Chen gank sitting right on top of that 4-minute rune. They're just waiting for somebody to show. Stinger actually trying to gank the Tinker instead, but they were wise to it with a nice scan. Successful one. They may still be ganked though. Era is going to be caught by the stomp inside of the trees. Stinger gets on top of him, does manage to get the silence, but it's a little bit late. The laser actually goes off first. Still though, he's in far too much trouble to be able to escape from this one. Yoda some fun. TP's in, but it's a bit too late. Maybe he can get the double edge, but I don't think it'll be enough to kill Papedia. In fact, it's not even close.
Yeah. But at the same time, they did get a kill in the form of the Disruptor, who TP's back up there and just dies once again. Feels like it's going to be a similar game for him, as now they're going to make the lane swap. I'm okay with this one. It's very similar to what they did last game. Feels like there's a pattern here, as going to go for the 3-man Shrine, and Stinger this time around 0-0 and 1 is off to a much better start, as it looks like they want to go in mid, and
if they can get
another
kill on this Tinker,
yeah, they
I'm not sure how well he's going to be able to recover.
They're all waiting here. They read this, they see it with the ward.
They're going to go for the Spear once again. They managed to get the silence before the laser this time around, but here comes the supports. They're going to pounce on this one, see if they can actually catch anybody from Infamous. Not going to be quite good enough. They do send back the Tinker, so he will be able to re-show in lane. Actually, no, he doesn't have a TP, so he's going to have to do the long walk back.
Oh, boy. And this Tinker has been slowed down quite a bit. Has not had the easiest time of it so far. Now the Terrorblade starting to pick up farm. Tops when it comes to last hits. Has recovered quite nicely from that death, and it is Infamous with the very early but very slight gold lead.
He's down lane against a Centaur though, and that could be difficult with a low HP Terrorblade against such a heavy magic damage nuke. You can see Yonosamon's always kind of threatening him here. But Kataro is close to level 6. So he might be able to survive, but if he runs into Hanskin here, actually it's going to pop the Metamorphosis, and it's going to be Hanskin who's the one stuck here. Singer, ooh, TP out. Hanskin's actually going to be good.
Cancel the hit.
Oh, and now they're actually going to run in, try and go for this kill. That's crazy. They're going to try and pop Minnows. Do they have enough damage? That is certainly not the case. Yono-Sampan misread the situation pretty drastically, and Terrorblade does manage to get a kill off of that, even if it wasn't the one he thought he was going to get.
And Exorcism has been popped. Pepita trying to force in this tower right now, as Era just going to use his March of the Machines. Should force this back a little bit, but a lot of damage is being dealt to this tower. It's going to dip a little bit above half, as Terrorblade just continues to farm. Now has that early level Sunder. I do like that he's not being super greedy about this.
Yeah, considering the pressure that he's felt from the Centaur and the rotations of the Chen, probably for the best that he has that safety button. Stinger heads up to the top lane. Not sure what he can really do here against a Lifestealer. Looks like he just wants to farm as the second daytime does approach.
He's got to be careful.
Good stomp onto Pablo. He's going to go for a TP out. This one will not be successful. And that'll mean more and more damage onto the tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, Terrorblade going to be caught out here. Does have that ultimate, though. So, Simpan and Hanskin weren't feeling it.
But Era opting to go for the jungle. Doesn't want to get ganked, even when it's daytime. The possibility is there with the ET, and so he's just going to jungle. But this is going to mean this mid tower is going to dip really low. You'd like to see somebody from Final Tribe go over, try to defend this as that bottom lane.
Stomping's going to miss, but they do have the Life Stealer. TPing in. He's going to be able to slow down somebody. It's going to be Papita. They just overwhelmed him. TP not going to be good enough. Stinger thought he was going to be able to turn that around. Meanwhile, bottom lane, yeah, they do kill Kataro. Minos goes down on the Terrorblade once again.
And shades of last game where these two cores would just die on opposite ends of the map. Papita and Minos. You've got to be a little bit more careful than that.
You have to figure, you dive that mid lane so many times, eventually you're going to get punished, and that's exactly what seems to be happening now.
Just feels like that's the adjustments that they're not really making, and I think Final Tribe is, they should be a little bit confused and have learned, like, as long as we're patient, they will make mistakes.
Yeah.
On the side of Infamous.
It seems like Infamous just need to change the pattern of the game. They get a successful pattern, then they just keep on trying it over and over again. And of course, the enemy team is not going to just do the same response time in, time out.
When they're the most successful, they've got two good late game cores in Papita and Minos. They scale well, and they don't rush things. Like that series against Na'Vi, like remember, this is a team that did beat Na'Vi in that best of 1 and looked good doing so.
Schofield going to be slowed down to a halt. Pablo gets him with the Ice Vortex and the Hellbear smash from Hanskin, but it is going to be their mid tower that ends up dropping in the process. So Papita finally takes that 10 minutes in, mid tier 1 tower. That's not bad timing at all.
No, not at all, considering you're against a Tinker who spams out March, but we'll see how things go here. Their lineup is a little bit slow on the side of Final Tribe. That's the downside of having the Centaur. Not a guaranteed initiation whatsoever.
Yonasampan, we've seen the Centaur before. It's been a bit slow, and Yonasampan is actually going to slow it down even further if he actually goes for this Vanguard over an earlier Blink Dagger. In fact, the last time we saw it, we talked about that he went for the Hood of Defiance over the Blink Dagger. Similar situation. He's going to try and run over Minos here with the Ice Blast. They can do this, but Minos does have the opportunity to get off of Thunder if he could just get out of some of this. Turns around onto Yonasampan, but still brought down by the double edge. Still, it's a 2-for-2 scenario here as a Night Stalker dies on the other side of the map, but Hanskin going to be pulled back into the stop. Both the creeps are super low as well, so they won't be much help for Hanskin. He's just trying to dish as much damage into Schofield, hoping that the Satyr can finish him off, but it's not going to be good enough. Schofield had some magic wand charges to live off of.
Yeah, at the same time, losing the Terrorblade, not really in the plans.
Yeah, certainly not, considering his start. He was top of the CS for a majority of those first 10 minutes.
Still doing somewhat okay, and the Tinker's been slowed down enough that this, I think, is still acceptable.
Yeah.
They've got to be more careful than this on their Terrorblade. He was trying to bait, but Yonasampan is really strong at this point in the game.
Let's see what Stinger can do now in this second nighttime as we approach the 12-minute mark. He does have phase boots as well as Medallion of Courage, so he dishes out not just a good nuke in his Void, but a lot of physical damage as well. So he is a terror in this nighttime. Tinker can never really feel too safe about his time jungling. They go for the smoke, but not playing aggressive enough. Need to go deeper into the jungle if they want to be able to find their prey, and they've got it now. Yonasampan caught out while he's neutraling. He meant to get off his ultimate. They do have a glimpse, though. So even if they don't silence, it doesn't really matter. Yonasampan, his fate is secured in the end.
Very nice kill for them to get. On his way to his Vanguard. Pick him off before that point, and now Era. He's going to be very careful. He almost has the boots of travel. Really like him to just go for the jungle here instead of trying to farm.
Afford to die right now. Gets off
He's
the
so close to it.
He's going to be caught by Infamous.
He's going to spam, trying to purchase it. One creep needs to die. He's got it.
Oh, wow. So he lost absolutely no gold from that scenario. It was still a big kill for Infamous to pick up and just the bounty they get themselves, but...
Still, I feel like you jungle in that position.
Yes, absolutely.
You go to the right camp.
The
Schofield?
impenetrable triangle of farm.
Yeah, they won't.
Schofield tries to go into the Roshan pit, trying to dodge that Ice Blast. Jonas and Fawn doesn't actually hit him there. Now going to be silenced up the turnaround. Elder Titan lays down the Earth Splitter, and that's going to bring Jonas and Fawn low enough to be able to finish him. Stinger gets that. They do manage to get the Disruptor kill, but Pablo brought back by that Disruptor is going to be caught. Infamous are going to find a 2-for-1. What a big turnaround.
All they had to do was be a little bit more patient on Schofield, and they would have found him. But Jonas and Fawn drops the stun early, thinking that Schofield might go for the play at the lip of the Roshan pit where you don't have vision.
Stinger. They catch him with the Centaur stun. Now Papita comes forward with a Blink Dagger pickup on this Death Prophet. Want to be aggressive as possible. Tinker is going to return some fire here. Frost isn't going to be chased out, though. It's just a support kill for that.
Stinger absolutely should not be dying in these positions. This is... he's really fast. He can play the outside edge, but he goes all the way in. Makes it really hard for his team to be able to do anything.
They're going to try for this, huh? Yeah, the Troll's going to lock him down. Here comes that Ice Blast. If they can blow up Minnows. Lifestealer does not want to pop out until he knows they've got enough damage. Now with the Heat-Seeking Missile, is it going to be enough? He's holding on to his vest and use it to be able to pop the Terror Blade. No chance to be able to get up asunder. Miku will die as well inside of the trees. And Schofield, he's trapped in a maze of March of Machines. He'll be the third death. Final Tribe. Again, the game starts looking dicey for them at some point, but they end up winning the most important team fight.
Yeah, Infamous keep putting themselves in such good positions. Then they just make moves like that and set themselves such a disadvantage.
Yeah.
And they still have a gold lead despite all that.
Yeah.
That's the thing is, I feel like they don't read that in the game. They don't sense that they're still ahead because it felt like in game one, once they lost that mid-engagement, they're like, well, whatever then.
Yeah.
But they were still leading in that game. Like, that was still an easy game for them to win, and as long as they play that patiently, and this is the key here, is patience. You don't have to make these rush moves. It feels like they're putting themselves on a timer more than anything.
Oh, look at this. Oh, no! Papita! He saw the TP in for the Tinker, and he thought, this is the time the Blink Dagger is going to shine. I'm going to show these fools what's up. Pops the Exorcism, but the thing is, the Tinker canceled his TP. He baits out the Death Prophet. It was going to be a sick play. If he could actually blink here with the Exorcism, Spirit Siphon, go for the Silence.
Oh, look, once again, Stinger. He's got to be careful. He has been slowed down so much in his item progression. They've got him completely surrounded.
Oh, it's daytime, actually. He doesn't want to blow darkness, but he has to. Maybe they can still fight? Especially if they go for the Tinker first. 1200 HP. He's a bit tanky under the tier 1 tower, but they're going to go for it anyway. But there's the Centaur ult. Gives Era the distance needed. He managed to get the stomp onto the Ancient Apparition. Jonas Apon's going to be sent back as well. Schofield not going to be caught by that Horseman. So darkness blown, but at least everyone gets out alive on Infamous.
Jonas Ampon now nearing that Blink Dagger. Huge item for him to pick up. There would have been multiple kills where he would have been able to set up if he had the Blink instead of the Vanguard, but opts to get a little bit tankier.
And the Crimson Guard will certainly have value later on in the game.
It's so good against the TV.
Yeah. All right, next big item. Era needs his Blink Dagger, and he is 750 gold away. So Infamous need to be able to find that right rotation, shut him down, slow down that blink timing a little bit more. We would love to see a smoke out of them.
Radiance almost complete on this Lifestealer.
Oh, that's another big item.
That is usually how Lifestealers deal with the illusion-based cores. Most of the time, people just go for it as a whole. It pairs really nicely with that hero. You're just raged up. Radiance burning everyone around you. You've got a high amount of HP to pair with. Once you get the Radiance and Solar Crest, it's just pretty hard to kill you.
And there's the Blink. So we're pretty much going to have a 1-2-3 item pickup in Final Tribe that will change their game dramatically. 2 different Blinks and 1 Radiance. So what can Infamous pick up that'll change their game? Well, they've got the Yule Scepter onto the Death Prophet, working now towards a BKB. Stinger picked up a Force Staff and is working towards an Aghanim Scepter, but none of these are really key timing items. They're just natural progression. So Final Tribe may have an advantage right now when it comes to forcing team fights, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. Going for a smoke. Yonosampan has the infested Lifestealer inside of him. Not bothering to wait for that Radiance. The time is right for a fight. There's no need to delay. But it seems like Infamous are wise to Final Tribe's tricks. The smoke seemingly not successful so far. They do get a scan. They know at least where they're at, knowing that they're on that high ground, but can do little about it. Because they don't want to cross over that Tier 1 tower area in mid.
That is the benefit of keeping this Tier 1 tower alive for as long as they have. This is why Infamous, despite that disaster at bottom, is still in the lead. It's because they were able to protect that mid Tier 1 for so long.
Oh, a sneaky little Roshan play from Infamous, huh? They say, you take the Tier 2, we'll take the Roshan. Yeah, and it doesn't look like Final Tribe can really contest.
Do they have any idea about this?
It seems like they may, but Roshan is just about to go down here. The combined damage of both the Death Prophet as well as the Terrorblade makes it pretty easy for them. Now they push out, see if they can catch something here. Whoa, what a two-man stun coming out from Yonosampan. Found his bait. He's going to be able to grab the two supports here. Ice Blast coming in, that's going to miss onto the Elder Titan, but maybe the Lifestealer can still grab him here. Stuck inside the trees. The Radiance comes out. Earth Splitter needs to be able to invest to dodge this damage. He is able to jump inside of the Chen's creep, pops out just after the stomp hits. Looks like he'll be okay for now, but that was almost a death there from Frost right after the Radiance pickup.
That almost looked really disastrous for a second for Infamous.
Yeah.
Got a little bit greedy there. They had to back out a little sooner. And if you look at the Terrorblade's build, he's building for the fight.
Yeah, an interesting build, the SNY pickup.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So no Manta for him. Perhaps he'll break it apart for another day, but he's going to work towards a Scotty now. Just extra kiting mechanism against this Lifestealer.
Who did that? It was Ace against Liquid?
Yeah.
When he went against the Shadow King game. He opted to just go for the fight. I like it.
Radiant's middle tower is falling.
Do you agree with the fact like he needs to focus more on being able to fight in this mid game than the later game Terrorblade against this Tinker?
Yeah. I'm not sure how useful he feels like the Manta is in a game like this. I think they want to try to overrun. That's the entire point of having a DP in a game.
Yeah. Just the double pushing power, win one team fight. Take a bunch of objectives. Final Tribe, they're actually going for another smoke gank here. They've got the Centaur infested up once again. And they may just run into a tasty little treat that is Minnows, and they stomp right on top. They are able to catch him. Let's see if they can get off the Sunder in time. Nope, but he does have an Aegis.
Where's the TPs?
So here comes the mass TPs. The Ice Blast is on its way, though. Here comes the Elder Titan, hoping to be able to get a stomp. They're going to control up Ice Blast and make sure he has no chance to be able to get off that Sunder. A Force Staff attempted by Infamous to allow him to get off that Sunder, but he was stunned just a little bit too long.
That was a late response from them, too.
Yeah, it certainly was. They popped the Shrine, maybe still hoping they can defend this Tier 1 tower from a push. They are going to be able to catch Pablo here, alone inside the river. Stinger wants to be able to make sure he's not stunned up. Chen sent back. They need to kill this Ancient Apparition quickly, and not quick enough, it seems. Sent back to base now. Oh, jump in from Yonosampan, but Papita is right there with the Spirit Siphon, and he's got a Blink Dagger up in a second. It's actually going to be halted.
Frost, he's going to get silenced.
He's trying to fight this one with Silence on top. Here comes the stomp. Barely managed to get off the range. Goes for Scotsfield, but a Force Staff unable to get him on the other side of that cliff, so he now looks for more. Death Prophet gives up on being able to grab any more heroes, just the Centaur kill. It seems the Lifestealer is too tough for him to be able to fight.
Still, they'd like to pick up either the Tinker, who, since the laning phase, hasn't really been touched. Era just continues to farm, or even the Lifestealer right there. A little bit of a split as the Death Prophet was way too far up north, not in a position to help out. Not the worst fight, though, for Infamous, but they do lose the tower in the end.
Frost is trying to get his Solar Crest. That evasion will be very helpful against the Terrorblade. And the hunt begins once again. Last time they got the Terrorblade, they would Would love a kill on either him or Papita's Death Prophet, who is really closing in on a BKB, and that is a crucial item for him. Yonosapan so close. The smoke pops now, though. He sees them.
Oh,
They have
look
the
at
vision on the
Papita.
high ground.
He's playing so safe. Not gonna die farming neutrals, not today. But it might be Schofield in mid.
He really shouldn't die, thanks to the vision that they have.
Oh, they knew!
should catch nobody. They actually do pop out. It looks like Papita still gonna die. He knew about this. He saw the smoke break on that high ground. The ward spotted them all, and he still risked his life
Radiant's
trying
middle
a
tower
little bit
is
of a
under
shortcut.
attack.
He gets caught by a dire ward on the high ground this time. A little bit deeper inside the jungle.
There are no shortcuts in this life.
There certainly is it. Unless you're trying to get a shortcut back to the fountain. Death and easy way to find that.
Radiant's
Lifestealer now
middle
going to
tower
start
is
his
under
assault
attack.
on this mid tower as Centaur
Whoa,
with a
Yonosapan
big
just
jump.
goes for it. All right, they've got the Rod of Atos, so I guess they can really lock down these heroes. Unfortunately, a Force Staff isn't enough reach for him to be able to get out of range of that cold feet. So he's still going to be locked down. Final Tribe go from one pick off to another.
What a jump from Jonas.
Radiant's middle
Yeah,
tower
he is relentless in his assault.
Radiant's middle tower
He just
has
keeps
fallen.
on running at Infamous heroes over and over again, anticipating them just having some bad positioning and able to capitalize off of that.
Stinger's got some crazy items, by the way. Like
Yeah?
that, if you blindfolded me and I just like saw the corner of my eyes,
Is under
not the
attack.
hero with the items, I would not be able to guess with like 10 attempts.
So you're basically saying this belongs on a Reddit thread, Guess the Hero, Pro Edition?
That is,
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
it kind of makes sense in the context of the game is the weird part.
Taking a tier 2 with the Rage. Era is trying to defend a tier 1 against Terrorblade.
Dire's middle
Not
tower
happening
is
though.
under attack.
Katara does manage to pick up the kill.
If you think about it, the Force Staff's really nice against all their heroes.
Yonosapan just found Stinger. Blink,
he though?
not, oh, never mind. He already blinked.
He has a Force and a Glimmer Cap.
Yeah, that's true.
He will not die.
That Glimmer Cape. They still managed to find Minos, but he got off the Sunder, and now the turnaround while Papita, he pounces immediately, but doesn't get the sounds fast enough, so the Centaur is able to pop his ultimate. That's going to be the escape mechanism in which he rides away. Stinger now has to turn on Frosting's head. Managed to get the sounds from the Death Prophet this time around in time to be able to get a critical kill.
That is a massive streak that they picked up, and they're trying to look for more here.
They can just chase down some heroes. They might find Yonosapan. Blink Dagger up in 5 seconds. Schofield has a Spirit in 1, though. Runs into him. Oh, the Stomp stops him, and the Chen send back is there. Now Yule Scepter protects the Elder Titan, while Pablo is going to be the one to die. Tried to get a bit too aggressive there with his Ice Blast, thinking that this was going to be a great fight for a Tinker to play off of. Unfortunately, they lost their vision. The heat-seeking missiles are just not doing what they thought they would. Schofield taking more and more damage. Era, how far is he going to go for this one? Misses that last heat-seeking missile. Ran out of vision of Schofield once again.
All of a sudden, this Terrorblade is starting to pick up a lot of farm, and he's starting to look awfully scary. And I'm struggling to see where the high ground potential comes from on the side of Final Tribe's heroes. This Life Sealer...
Was that another wasted ultimate? Miku just threw down a Static Storm on a Tinker he thought was TPing it. And instead, he's going to die to that same Tinker. They are just having little luck catching this elusive hero.
Era's
Maybe
playing really well.
Papita can do it for him. No Blink Dagger, though.
Papita does have a BKB, though. But like I said, I don't know how... They'd have to wipe Infamous. Essentially, they'd have to do what they did last game, which is just catch them all over the map.
Yeah.
3 heroes die, then they get a free high ground. But if Infamous is disciplined, this is not an easy game for Final Tribe to win. And I think they've got the better late game with the type of heroes that they have. Like, once this TB gets 6 slotted with the BKB, it becomes very hard for Final Tribe to take these fights.
So if we put it this way, Final Tribe may have an advantage when it comes to the actual fighting itself, but no matter how many fights they win, they can't really take high ground easily, whereas Infamous, it only needs 1 or 2 fights, and this
Yeah.
game is, you know, wide open for them to chase take all of the objectives.
It's like what Boba said once. He said, you have to evaluate lineups like how many team fights does it take until your lineup can win. And I think it takes Final Tribe a lot more than it takes Infamous's.
It certainly does. So Final Tribe need to be able to keep up a persistent act.
Infamous just has to be
killing them.
They just have to be calm.
Yeah.
Like this game, if you evaluate the lineups, they should feel very comfortable in this. Their Terrorblade is going the right items. He's going to go for the BKB. Yeah.
That helps. They found Singer. Pick off, sure.
No problem.
But the trade-off is absolutely worth it for him.
I am perfectly fine with that death.
An Aegis for the Terrorblade, cheese for the Death Prophet.
That is a good death, because you won't get anything out of that.
Yeah.
On the side of Final Tribe. If you're not killing a 1 or 2 position, oftentimes you're going to say, okay, what was our investment? What did we get? What did the enemy get? If you can't push into an objective, or if it doesn't lead to a larger thing, then it doesn't mean that much.
And with this, it's actually Infamous. You get the big objective.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Smoke up Final Tribe. Again, need to be relentless. Need to keep on finding these pickoffs over and over and over again. And they're going to try for it here. 4-man smoke up to the top lane. Infamous. They're going to be found. Minnows, he's going to be the one spotted too. They can actually blow him up perhaps. Oh, the Spirit actually stops Jonas Afan. He tries to use the ultimate to be able to run down, and he does manage to snatch him with the burst damage coming out from Era. They may be able to get the Thunder! No, the Thunder! It goes down in time, but it looks like a second life is not going to be enough. So he needs a third life from that Aegis to be able to fight this fight. Final try.
Coming.
Round 2, going for Minnows. See if they can lock him down a little bit more with the Mud Golem jump forward from Jonas Afan. Wants to be able to grab him, but he's silenced up for the time being. Won't be able to get off a good hoof stomp, and it'll be sent back as well by the Disruptor. Schofield, Force Staff down to low ground.
This should be a full retreat.
Stay away from Frost. All of Infamous need to get out from this fight, and they do. So it's an unsuccessful smoke for the most part from Final Tribe. I guess they did get the Aegis. Forgot about that.
Yeah. The upside is nobody else died. The downside is that's like 3 times in a row now where it feels like that Aegis led to nothing. I think Final Tribe is reading like, guys, when they get the Aegis, they actually everyone just splits up in farms.
Yeah, we never see Infamous. They're never able to actually use the Metamorphosis to take objectives, it seems like. Jumps on. Night Stalker in some trouble. Gets a Force Staff. Glimmer Cape, and that means Jonas Afan is now the one in trouble. The Spirit Siphon on him against that percentage-based damage. Stomp onto Frost. Is able to catch him. 5 seconds still to Magic Mutant. That's 5 seconds too late. The damage is too much. Oh, Jonas Afan, he sees Beatles low. He's trying to catch him right now, but the Glimmer Cape again. Gets the Terrorblade to safety. Jonas Afan going to be kited around, taunted by all of Infamous. Silenced up, Spirit Siphon is there. 17-22. Infamous. They were calm, and they finally found a decent fight for themselves. They killed 2 cores, and we'll see what they can do with this space.
The Glimmer.
The Glimmer Cape worked, baby.
It paid off.
Whoa, Tinker.
It's like, I thought it was crazy, but if you think about it, it makes sense.
Don't do it.
Oh, Era.
It's all a bait, man. Don't fall into that trap to thinking that you could just solo up a Terrorblade.
That is one of the few times that we've seen Infamous actually take a fight where they're the ones that have the numbers advantage.
Yes. And it's because, again, we're seeing the Centaur Lifestealer, they just go out and try and catch something. The last time that went bad for them was a similar situation where Infamous were actually playing together, around each other.
And this should show Infamous something. If we play together, like we did in the Navi game, this is when we have the most success. Not everybody just has to split up and farm at all times.
Yeah.
The items in this game are cool, but think about last game. Like, they had all the items in the world and they were still losing fights because, well, they were being picked apart one by one. In a game like this, you want to try to stick together, strength in numbers. The last time that also worked for Final Tribe because they're expecting Infamous to split up.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times, like, if you play against a team like Newbie, you make that move, you're running into 5 heroes.
Right.
But against a team like Infamous, too often, they don't vary their looks enough. They roam around a little bit too much by themselves. But this time around, they were together, and they win that fight.
And they're going to play together again.
I like this.
In fact, look at Minnows.
This is greedy, but
he's going to go for
the payoff is huge.
He's going to go for the 3K, low HP, Sunder kill.
Oh, the
Not
blink.
going to find anything, though. I mean, after all, he's got a BKB. There's nothing, like, if he's fast enough, there's nothing that catches him off, right? Centaur stun can't hit him. He'll BKB first. So really, this should be a full.
He's going to run into Frost.
In fact, he's going to be able to catch Frost. Gets him low.
Okay.
Hoping for the reflection, not able to get it.
That was interesting.
Gotcha.
You really pissed him off there.
Frost is like, all right, well, that was something.
Dire's middle tower
Gonna
is
go
under
heal up in the
attack.
fountain, be ready to fight again, but it is time for Infamous to take an objective, and that's the tier 2 mid, at least try anyway. The Tinker is gonna make it a bit hell to try, but try they will, and try. In fact, they'll succeed. Infamous do manage to take that tier 2. Now they're gonna try and catch out Jonas and Fawn.
Radiant's bottom
Schofield.
tower is under attack.
TP out from Jonas and Fawn, not gonna be able to find him with a wild spirit play.
Sunder is like some high-risk game of tag with like dire physical consequences.
And that is exactly the game that Minnows like to play.
There's like the upside.
Don't mess with that guy on the playground, dude.
The upside isn't even that high. Imagine a world where he gets spotted and stunned and killed. That would be the saddest thing ever.
True, but again, how could they kill him? Ice Blast doesn't stop Sunder. He should always get off his BKB before the burst damage.
That is
there.
true. That is true. I just feel like that.
It's unnecessary and flashy. Yes, that's exactly Kutaro. Welcome to Infamous.
I'm a fan. I
the
really
big-
think they're gonna win this game. By the way,
I mean, look at that. Kills per 10 minutes at GESC, 8.44 for Infamous. They're second on the list. That is Infamous to a T.
did he just Sunder?
Yeah, he did.
Man, he doesn't even have
You think
tranquils.
he cares about his disruptor?
He doesn't even have tranquils.
He has arcane boots. This guy could just die to like an ice blast and a couple of heat-seeking missiles.
How pissed would you be if you're that disruptor and that happens?
Yeah. But Kartaro's like, no, dude. I got to keep farming. And you are there to support that. Because he needs his MKB. He needs it badly. The Radiance is a bit of a problem. He's got the laser as well from the Tinker.
Yeah, they're going for the two-man play once again. They're expecting the split up.
This time around, they may be able to get it scot-free. It's an invis. They jump on a Stinger. They're going to be able to kill the Night Stalker.
got
Maybe
Glimmer!
the Glimmer Cape as well as the Force Staff. Time and time again, they survives off of this. He had the gem, too. That would have been a disaster if they'd actually caught him. Ancient Apparition caught in the bottom lane. Pablo
He
doing
was
his.
alone. They caught him alone, but he was
Yeah.
trying to connect to his team, and that Glimmer Cape for like the 5th time. Stinger's a genius. He is playing a different brand of Dota than the rest of us.
Absolutely.
How many times does that have to happen until they get somebody? All right, finally Jonas gets a dust.
He's got 4 dusts, in fact, trying to make up for the misses earlier, but now he's been caught inside the jungle. Earth Splitter, that can actually hit him. Now he's too far away, but still, they're going to try and run him down with the Spirit Siphon. Era's here, trying to help. Oh no, Era, this isn't the place to be. He's been Yule Sceptered up, surrounded by the Exorcist, and managed to get a blink away. What? Now he's got the send back from the Chen. He's going to be gone. No, the glimpse! It caught him right after the Chen send back. Schofield, a shot from the tower, brings him down, but it's Metamorphosis and Exorcism. We said they only needed 1 or 2 fights in Infamous, and now knocking on the tier 3.
Yeah. That was the perfect fight for them. They transitioned the Exorcism immediately into this tower push. Look how quickly they take advantage of the wand fight. The Ice Blast is going to connect the glimpse.
Ice Blast hits a couple. They sent the Centaur back with the glimpse, but he managed to
BKB.
managed to get off the BKB, turns and fights Jonas and Fawn. They need to save their Centaur, needs to send him back with the Chen. They are able to do so. Now it's Sunder on Frost. He's low, slowed down by the Scotty, but they don't want to come in. It's Era. He's too scary. A really great smoke actually saved all of them there. I think both their support, both the Disruptor as well as the Night Stalker may have died to that bouncing laser if it hadn't been for that smoke.
Very well done.
That
from
was
Infamous.
sick.
And this is what they could have done in game 1. This is why it's frustrating if you're an Infamous fan, because they show flashes of this kind of brilliance.
Yep.
This is the kind of form that they use when they beat Na'Vi. They can do it.
Or maybe this is why Dota is the best of 3 games.
Indeed.
Infamous learned from their mistakes.
Yo, they found Era.
Caught Era, who survived. Actually, no, he didn't. I remember. He got glimpsed back.
No,
he
he's
cannot
fine.
afford a second death like
He's
this.
really fast.
Thanks to that Centaur. Man, Centaur really is a get-out-of-jail-free card in so many ways.
Jonas, they're going to go for it once again. Imagine, though, either of the times if they had a dust for that Glimmer Cape, that gem would have been a huge pickup for them.
Yeah, they take away that gem, they maintain ward control,
Papita.
Oh no, Papita can't die here. He does have BKB.
He gets the
Nice
BKB.
timing. He also has the cheese, so there's no way Final Tribe can take this fight. In fact, they're the ones in trouble now. Jonas Safon managed to get a block back there on the Spirit side, and that's going to help him survive a little bit longer. Yule Scepter goes down, but now the rest of the Infamous is here. Stinger looks to be able to close the distance. Nice. Silence with the glimpse back. They're going to be able to catch him. He's further silenced by the Static Storm. Can they actually bring down Frost? He wants to be able to get an Infest off, and he barely does. Gets inside the Chen Creeps. He's a dragon now, and he'll burn Stinger to death. Looks for more. It's going to be Miko. He's going to be caught by Pablo, the fourth carry in this game. Stinger comes back, as well as the Disruptor. Double buybacks, plus a huge stop. Jonas Safon brought down by the Sunder. They try and take this fight. Jonas Safon turns and goes for the Elder Titan, not able to take it. Frost, he's also going to die. A dragon no more. He falls to the ground and burns. 22 to 25. Infamous have won another big fight against the Final Tribe.
And that is going to be a huge swing for them. The buyback was expended, but well worth it. Infamous finally starting to put things together. The BKB timings from both times. First the Terrorblade for that mid push, and the Death Prophet able to turn things around. They're going to transition this into a Roche. What a fortuitous change of a... And that could have gone so bad for them.
And they sell Metamorphosis.
Yeah, they're
So
perfectly
they
fine.
used Exorcism. And they're going to get that fight as well as the Roshan. In fact, they get a Refresher Shard. Holy cow, they can still take advantage of the fact that this Life Stealer's down for 40 seconds.
It looks like they're going to just calm down.
All right.
Everything's okay. The game is
Fair enough.
in their hands.
Yes.
They don't have to rush anything. You don't have to go for that dive at top or anything like that. You can set up.
Oh, they found the Chen. Stinger. This is a really good pickoff considering the impact of the Chen when it comes to sendbacks.
Dire's top shrine.
They
is
don't
under
manage to
attack.
get him, they just kill his Ancient Creep instead.
They're going to grab that
Oh, Miko,
2-2.
Miko, look out! There's a Tinker on the fields, and you need that HP, oh no! Oh, deaths like that never feel good. Now they actually hit Stinger.
He needs to get out.
He did not have dust.
Dire's top shrine.
It was
is
still on
under
cooldown
attack.
from his backpack.
That is like 9 times the Glimmer Cape has saved him.
And he kills the ward immediately afterwards with that gem. They try and run forward. This time they do manage to catch him, but here comes the turnaround. The rest of the Infamous are here. Papita is out. Lotus Orb trying to deal with that Spirit Siphon as best as possible. Big tank here like Centaur cannot abide that percentage-based damage, and he needs to be able to get out. Actually, caught by the Gold Scepter. He's going to be stomped on by the Centaur. Oh, he's in big trouble. Papita is here. Spirit Siphon on top of him, slowing him down. Here comes the Tinker, though. Wants to be able to actually cancel. Blinks over to the side. They've got a target in the Elder Titan. What a big air splitter, though. It actually brought the Tinker outside of the trees. Papita pops his BKB, goes for the kill on Aaron. He's got him locked out. Pablo is hoping to be able to man fight against the other hero. Actually going for a TP out. Yule Scepter will stop that one. And a jiffy. Infamous. Oh, what is that, an item drop? Ah, Papita, please. That's some good old Infamous flavor.
Papita.
Papita.
He feels it.
He is feeling this game, too, against Final Tribe. He knows they are going to be able to push this to a game 3 as long as they don't screw anything up drastically.
And once again, the Glimmer Cape keeps the Elder Titan alive for so long. That is the most value core Glimmer Cape that I've ever seen purchased. They're going to go for the high ground. The Exorcism is popped. He still has a Refresher Orb if he wants it. During that entire engagement, the Life Stealer couldn't connect to the rest of his team. And it's Final Tribe that goes for a 4-on-5 this time around. Life Stealer going to port back. Tinker doing what he can with the buyback.
Rocket after rocket coming in. Trying to catch Minos. Ice Blast, that's going to miss. Glimmer Cape helps him survive against some of those ranged attacks instead of a second lane of Rex. They'll just get a Shrine instead. It's good enough for this team.
Bottom shrine has fallen.
They have this game well in hand with a 13,000 gold lead and a Terrorblade who's just about to hit level 25 and maxed out items. In fact, check his next item pickup. He's going for Divine Rapier.
I think that they're in a position now where Infamous, if they just kill the Tinker once, the game's done.
Yeah.
That is such a good position to be in. They're being very patient about this. They're not forcing anything, even with the Aegis and the Refresher Orb. They didn't dive, and that's what we were talking about. It always felt like this game, as long as they were patient and they don't rush anything, the late game should be theirs.
Taro would like to say hello, and he's got a Death Prophet friend joining him. Blink in, immediately gets the side, the fights, Chen down.
Yeah, once again, another pick-off. They're playing so fast around the map.
They got a successful ping on the Centaur, who's running around right now with a haste rune.
How does I'm still struggling. Like, even if Final Tribe win a fight, I don't know what they get out of it with their lineup.
Yonasapan needs to be careful. If he's caught by Schofield, he can get Yule Sceptered up. That would take away his haste rune. Minnows, whoa, Minnows is really low. Glimmer Cape. Glimmer Cape. Never mind.
Okay, he wants the death. He has it.
Because the Aegis was about to expire, better to go full HP guaranteed than risk your Aegis being interrupted.
Metis popped.
Tier 3. Already dead, and melee racks soon to fall. BKB activated just in time. Yonasapan is unable to get off the stomp, and that's the risk of this kind of initiation. Always going to go wrong against the faster BKB buyers, and that means Final Tribe are now going to miss one of their heroes. They're going to try and fight this one out 4 versus 5. In fact, they have to, but they've managed to catch the Tinker, get the stomp on top of him. Papita gets in. Spirit Sight with a BKB. There's no way out for a Tinker, and Minnows is just beating on tier 4s now, and well played by Papita. He's feeling it right now. He thinks he can end it, in fact, but Minnows is dropping a little bit low. Blink inside the fight. They need to get this Tinker back to base, and that's why the Chen Sen back is there. Frost is really unable to stop Papita. He's got that level 25 talent. The X is giving him the haste rune. He's got a refreshing shard as well. In fact, he's got the Sight of Ice on a Frost. Another send back from the Chen. Can they get him? Yule Scepter. It'll actually stop this one, and Frost is in big time trouble. He needs the laser. He needs the heal. He needs something to be able to get back, and he can't get it. He dies. Papita is godlike and infamous. They just need a tier 4, a Sunder Swap there to be able to get both of them back to full HP. What a clever play from Infamous. Just to make sure they get out in time. It may be a disruptor down. Nobody really cares about him. It's the 2 cores of Infamous that are all important right now, Kotaro and Papita. They just need one little pick-off, and they've got either Megas or Throne in their hands.
Did my dude just really buy a Rapier with no buyback?
Yeah.
In a game-winning position?
You got a problem with that? You got something to say, Blitz? You got something to say?
So many questions, but
This is Infamous. They make a game exciting and close to the bitter end.
They saw
24,000 gold lead. That ain't nothing.
They saw that last game and they're like, we gotta up it.
Yeah. We gotta demoralize them.
Sure, why not? I'm a fan.
I feel like you say that when you don't understand what's going
No,
on.
I think it's lovely. As a commentator, I just want fun games.
And that is exactly what Infamous gives you.
Yeah, they're item dropping, they're buying rapiers. Why not? Let's go for it.
For real though, that little Sunder play at the end, where Terrorblade swaps him with the Death Prophet Ghost coming back. That was cute. See, Infamous are cool. They're just full of little cool ideas like that.
Yeah. And Papita's been a beast this game.
Yeah, he certainly has. That Blink Dagger pickup didn't work out immediately, but eventually.
His item build has won them this game. Like, their item builds have won them this game. All the adjustments that they make.
Yeah.
Like the Hex.
The Glimmer Cape.
The Glimmer
Cape.
Oh, don't get me started on this Glimmer Cape.
Final Tribe sitting up on high ground here. They know they cannot afford another lost team fight.
I don't mind the Rapier purchase. It's really just the no buyback that throws me for a loop. Well, like, if he had like 10,000 gold, go for it, man. I don't even know if Rapier does anything on the side of
he's got
Final Tribe.
1,900 gold until his buyback is up, but he does have a double damage and a smoke, so this is going to look good. As long as he gets off the BKB.
I want to see the DPS.
Now just comes in with the reflection, immediately finds the Chen. That's a 3-shot. Now they caught the Centaur as well. That's a vehicle for a life stealer, so it's going to be a big pinata that Minnows can just tear apart and take all the candy. Take that candy. Minnows. Frost is going to go down. He's trying to armlet toggle as best he can, little buddy. I'm not sure he's going to be able to make it out, though. He is being caught by Stinger, sent by back the Glimpse. Final Tribe have no buybacks, and it's only Pablo left alive. We are going to a game 3, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo! South American Dota. The double damage Rapier. That left a mark.
And we are now 1 game away from Infamous, a South American team from picking up the first DPC points of the season. But they've got to actually beat Final Tribe in a game 3. And that is the big question.
What a crazy game. Good draft by them. They understood their lineup. I felt like in game 1, they just tilted, they weren't patient.
Yep.
In game number 2, they said, they can't go high ground. Like, as long as we don't get picked off, this game's impossible to lose. I felt like the same thing in game number 1, but this time around, they were so much more patient, and they were willing to take fights as a team. Good job.
They got picked off a little bit in the start, and then they were like, wait, I remember what happened last game. We start grouping up. Final Tribe doesn't manage to get these kind of ganks. Everything turns around for Infamous. So we're going to a game 3, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to head to the panel in a second. Blitz, you got any final words about Infamous? Do you think they can actually do this against Final Tribe in this game 3? This game 2 was not just a fluke, right?
I felt like they went 3-0 the day before. I feel like that wasn't a fluke whatsoever. I thought that they were going to win this series 2. They should have won 2-0, I felt, but what can you do?
All right, we'll see what our panel has to say as we head to them.
Wah, video lombanya harus diupload sekarang juga nih. Untung internet rumah pakai merek publik. Nikmati internet ultra fast fiber broadband. Welcome to my republic. Yuk, langganan sekarang.
Welcome back to GESC Indonesia. Glad to have you still with us here. It's been a very long day. And for Infamous and for the Final Tribe, it is only one game that is standing in between them and being top 4 here in Jakarta, or between them and elimination. Whoever knows what can happen, because we have seen both teams win a match. It's 1-1 in this quarterfinals, and I'm here with Gods, Scant, and Purge to talk about this match. And to be honest, both games this series, we've had the wrong of it in terms of who we thought was going to come out on top. And I have to also say, at the start of this game, I did not think that Infamous was going to take this game first. That aggressive tri-lane didn't go well at all.
Yeah, and their off-lane looked like he was in a kind of precarious position as well, but I think kind of the crucial thing late game is, and I feel like this happened the last time they picked Centaur, or maybe one of the other times, is that at some point, the whole strategy comes around, can Centaur get a gank off with Lifestealer? And Centaur has a delayed stun, and as long as they have BKBs and they see it coming or they prepare for it with good play, it's just like impossible to get kills late game. And either way, that's only one kill.
I love that point, that it is a delayed stun. It's not reliable. It's, you know, that's your initiation, and it's not an entirely reliable one. That's a problem. I think Centaur as a hero is actually just not that viable currently. Obviously, it's worked for Jonas, it's worked for Final Tribe, but we definitely saw some key weaknesses of the pick in this game.
Well, I think the ultimate problem is not just that it's a Centaur, it's that it's a Centaur when Pablo's playing Ancient Apparition. So you don't really have that other avenue for initiation. And you know, we talked about this in the Fnatic Na'Vi series. We said Fnatic had a tough game when DJ played Warlock, and I think it's the same adjustment that needs to come from the Final Tribe. We need to see Pablo playing a Pablo hero again next game, if they want to make a comeback.
Yeah, having some disables would definitely be really beneficial. I still think he played very well, but I definitely agree, like his disables were kind of limited later. He wore Rod of Atos, but it was used to like once or twice, but that's the problem with the item. Same thing, if they pop BKB, it doesn't matter. Like right there, everything's turned. Jonas and Fawn also didn't go for a 4-stat this game. I think that was probably a big oversight. Got saved either way, but I don't know.
The commentators put a lot of stock on that Stinger Night Stalker.
Yeah, what a sick Glimmer Cape usage. Like this guy was making all kinds of plays. I mean, we point out a lot of the stuff Final Tribe did wrong. Infamous, they brought the, you know, Peruvian flair, that crazy SA Dota, item dropping, taunts, rapiers. They had some fun. This is what people want to see when Infamous play. This is something that the fans get aboard. This is like a great confidence booster for them.
Yeah, and Papita had a really good game. He rushed that Blink Tiger, and I don't really feel like it paid off that well. And sometimes you think that's like quite an all-in, like, okay, I'm gonna rush the dagger, you need to make lots of kills. But he did fine, right? He didn't like immediately make a lot of kills, but he still just kept going and dominated the game.
It's kind of like he played the game like a solo kill hero, rather than less of like a team organization thing. He like played in aggressive positions, and he always initiated and maximized his damage. Like every fight, he jumps into melee range, maximizes like exorcism damage, and possibly gets kills.
Yeah, it's I'm sort of happy that Infamous pushed it to Game 3. Infamous is a nice team to watch. They like to clown around, but in like a serious way. They're gonna do the item drops. They're gonna do the rapier purchases, those kinds of things. But they're here to win. It's not like they're jeopardizing their chances of winning.
But they play a very entertaining style of Dota 2, so I'm fully on board with that. And we are gonna see a third game out of them right here. It's gonna be a question if they are able to do the same thing again. Can they force out that that win, I guess? Can they win the series? Can they make it to the top 4? This Infamous team, you know, it's been a long time coming for Infamous. This is their 6th DPC event. I already mentioned that before. The Final Tribe, it's their 1st. So, you know, there's already some practice there from Infamous. This could be the event where they finally break through. They break their invisible ceiling that they've had so many events in the past.
I think it's a huge possibility, especially that it's tied up in 1-1. I think the draft is hugely important. In some ways, your point about Pablo wishing he was on a Playmaker, I feel like that's the thing that the Final Tribe needs to solidify the game. If they have heroes that can control the game in a skilled way that are fairly competitive, then I think they outskill Infamous. But that game, Infamous, I think, took it to Final Tribe really well, and Final Tribe didn't really have the heroes that could work as well in the late game. Like, the matchups just weren't as good.
How can Infamous recreate this? Is because you're saying it's, well, largely in part that Pablo wasn't playing him a Pablo type hero, but what can Infamous do?
I mean, I actually, to be honest, I think Infamous made similar mistakes to what they made in the first game, but they got less punished because they were against a Tinker, not a Death Prophet. So there was a stage in the game where they like made a series of mistakes, giving up a bunch of deaths, but just they didn't get raxed for it, and then their draft sort of enabled them to keep going, you know, stand up from those mistakes. They were kind of making these plays where they would like do really well, then make a mistake, come back later.
That rapier purchase, I don't know if that was just really ballsy or a little bit BM.
The best part about it was that like they finished the base and then Metamorphosis was out and he like bought a rapier. It's like you should have had that like 20 seconds ago or waited to buy it until your next push, dude. Like,
yeah, misspelled Centaur. It's pretty shocking, Knoxville.
There's something to be said, like at least like from pubs, you know, like when you play Medusa. I think Slasher did a video on this. You rush a rapier like on that hero, like your team will play around you because you've got a rapier, you know? It forces your team to play together. Like, shit, my teammate put a rapier, this is bad, we're gonna lose the game, he's gonna throw, let's make sure he doesn't lose it. And suddenly, you know, you're all on the same page.
It was a really good rapier game, to be honest. Like, against the Lifestealer, I actually kind of feel like the Lifestealer should not have gone Radiance. I think that was a mistake. At first, I was thinking, like, okay, that's fine, he went Armlet first, I'll give him some armor. But if he just went regular raw damage, I think it would have been a big improvement. Obviously, Radiance is very good at lowering, giving mischance for the TB illusions. But if he just goes like Mjolnir or something with like an Abyssal Blade, I feel like that's just better. It'd help lock down the Terrorblade, prevent Sunders. It would give him more defense in some cases. He could go AC instead of having to just be Solar Crested, which is not as good.
Yeah, in hindsight, I think there were other builds that were maybe there that could have worked better. Whether even something like the Nullifier Orchid combo, where you know silence, you mute them, something like that, where you actually have that single target kill potential. You get a Centaur bomb on top of him, you actually blow him up, you might be able to bring him down. But the Radiance is like a, you know, kind of passive build in a sense.
I sort of feel like it goes back to the fact that Pablo's on a weird Pablo hero, because it has a knock-on effect where you don't really know what your timings are, you don't really know, are you playing the farming game, are you playing the proactive game? You've got this Tinker who wants to farm, is the Lifestealer meant to like buy something that he's going to hit people with right away, he's going to farm for that big Radiance. I feel like they end up being a bit confused about like what their role in the position of the game is. So I do hope, I mean, yeah, we've said it a few times now, but I think Final Tribe, it's really just about getting Pablo a more ordinary Pablo hero, and Infamous, I think, have a discipline issue, and I think even in the game they won, they have a bit of a discipline issue, so for me, that's kind of like the focus for them.
Yeah. What discipline issue do you think they had last game? Because the first game felt a lot sloppier to me.
Yeah, it wasn't as sloppy, but in the last game, there were sort of two fights where they pushed themselves into a good position, and then immediately after, like within 2 minutes, they had 3 of their heroes get picked off, and suddenly you felt like, well, like, are they going to hold their lead or not? It's just in that mid-game period, and it didn't like snowball into them losing Raxes like it did in the first game. So I think it's a complacency thing. I think it's like they have this tendency to feel confident after making good plays and then be a little bit complacent for the next minute or two immediately after those.
Here we go. Bans coming out. There's a change in bans. Death Prophet banned instead of Sand King. And I felt like they were talking to Pablo there. I wonder if they even asked him, like, do you want to play Sand King? Like, do we first pick it? Do we block pick it? Or do we give it to them? Because you definitely don't want to force Pablo to play Sand King as a block pick if he doesn't want to. The takeaway that we talked about was that, you know, he wasn't in his element. So they are going to go for the Sand King, and I think we could even see there. They're talking to him. He must have said, look, get me Sand King, it'll be fine.
And it could always turn into a Jonathan fan Sand King, right?
True. There's that flexibility.
We said on the first panel this morning, well, Fogg and I agreed that we thought Sand King is kind of the hero of the tournament so far. Do you guys agree with that?
One of.
Yeah, like I just feel like he's been so crucial in the meta. Like, I definitely think he's like a tier 1 hero right now, I guess is how I'd classify it, but I wouldn't say he's like the hero of the tournament. It wasn't new. It's not every game he gets banned some, but he's definitely very,
it's just the hero that's like been consistently making very big impacts.
Death Prophet is the hero of the tournament, I think. She's been a fixture of every game. She's made tons of good plays. Our the itemization variety has been changing a little bit. Like, I think Death Prophet is the hero.
I think that's fair. I think maybe our perspective was a bit sort of skewed because it was at the start of the day and there was a really big Sand King game at the end of yesterday and at the start of today. But I think I go for DP.
Oh,
it's the Viper.
This is not just the Viper, but the Earth Spirit. This is probably one of Schofield's best heroes, that and the Sand King. He is a sick Earth Spirit. They get Viper with it. This is a very mid-lane dominating duo. This is very much Infamous just picking their most comfort of comfort picks in a Game 3 decider.
But picking a Viper first, there's definitely some downsides to that, surely.
It's not like a hero that has hard counters. It's just like a hero that doesn't do anything insanely good.
Didn't they pick it first when they beat Na'Vi? I think they did.
Oh yeah, because that was the one team that actually let it through in the group stage. So
yeah. So
I
they're
was surprised we
confident.
didn't see it in the previous games personally, but
We didn't talk that much about Schofield, but he had an excellent game, I think, last game. He had a lot of really nice plays in that Auto Titan where he baited people in. One in the rush pits, another
That's
two after
true.
that.
actually, I like Viper a lot so far this game. I feel like against Sand King, it kind of makes a lot of sense because Sand King is very initiating strong. It allows for follow-ups, but Viper's naturally tanky and has magic resistance. So against things like Epicenter, Burrow Strike combos, I feel like it's not that big of a deal. Like Sand King is technically more disable than damage, I'd maybe argue. So I think Viper works well against that by being survivable.
We were talking about Pablo Sand King before, but do you think with the Chen it might actually be a Jonas Sand King? So that they can have that lane?
Not necessarily. I mean, they picked the monkey with the Chen. They're quite happy to run this, you know, kind of dual roamer-ish thing. Chen is kind of a lane secure. He just doesn't secure them until admitted in once he's got some neutrals.
Yeah, I guess I'm just saying because of how strong the Sand King Chen lane is.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. I think that's more likely to happen if Sand King gets a good 1v1, and then they do the Chen with the other hero. So I don't even think it's about the Chen being with the Sand King in that scenario. That's what we've seen often. Like Jonas getting 1v1 seems to be Final Tribe's like bread and butter laning setup.
Disruptor.
Every
Speaking
game.
of heroes of the tournament, by the way, yeah.
Yeah.
Disruptor, definitely.
It's a good support.
Yep.
So I'm kind of curious what what cores that the Final Tribe go with as a result. Like between Disruptor and Earth Spirit, they have tons of good utility, and they're not as countered by something like Lifestealer Rage or Jug Spin. So we'll see if they go down that path regardless. Like Viper's ultimate is definitely, it's like the solution in some ways. Like provide a really good slow against somebody that's magic immune.
Terribly themselves.
Yeah, it's a good choice.
I think I mentioned at the start of the series, they'd gone for that TB Dazzle in the first match of the tournament, and they looked very, very comfortable there. And I think if they're going to, have that save, I guess the Chen can be the save. It's to have that kind of inevitability when you're playing against Infamous, and a way to sort of force them to be aggressive on you, and you can just casually react and push. I think that's a nice way to approach Infamous.
It's a pretty ideal pick against like the Viper type lineup. Like I think the alternative is like the gyros, which are not good against Viper with the magic resistance. So pick a TB, you secure yourself the late game, and also a carry that's good in the early game. Can push towers, good in the mid game. He's definitely good at most stages of the game when he does have Metamorph.
Yeah, he's got to be careful about the silences, but once he gets to the point of the game where he has BKB, he is completely fine, and he'll be really effective against Viper damage-wise. Viper cannot deal with TB and his illusions well.
Okay, you get the Tide. Damage mitigation against the TB, Anchor Smash. I think Dragon Knight was the other hero that was banned that could have maybe been a good fit also in place of that, but they banned that themselves, so. Teamfight as well, something the Viper doesn't really give them.
I mean, Anchor Smash alone with the perk at 15, what does the damage reduction get up to, like 80% or something like that?
Yeah, crazy.
So, and TB buys mostly agility items, so that could really affect his damage output.
Yeah, so
Will be
yeah.
a core Sand King then.
Yep.
I mean, it's a good Pablo hero, and Tide Hunter's in the game, so good spell to steal. Although, the other two, Disruptor can be iffy spell-wise, Earth Spirit is not a good hero to steal from, so it's basically Viper Strike and Ravage right now. So I think maybe he's going to have some issues in the early mid-game, like right when he hits 6.
The Nether Toxin is pretty decent to steal as well.
Oh yeah, he's got 2 spells now.
Yeah, and you can use it against Viper and against Tide, and both actually work very well.
That is a very good point, and he's also got the magic resistance aura, so that plus Nether Toxin could be really good.
Great spell to steal, and should be easy as well. We'll find out if it works out that way for them though.
He's practically Ancient Apparition right now. Steal Nether Toxin, same hero.
This is also the third game in a row where we see first pick on Final Tribe and Radiant last pick on Infamous. I'm not sure who actually won the coin toss this game, but I know that Infamous were prioritizing having Radiant over pick selection.
Yes, probably would be the same thing again. I didn't get the information this time, but I would imagine that it is the same story.
They're trying to use that second pick advantage to get the 10th pick for Kataro, carry the game, and know the full draft before getting his hero, which is why they get that early Viper and Pepita pick.
5 seconds remaining.
So hard carry that can deal with Terrorblade.
And it's still a decent morph game as always. They let you down in game 1, and not just the hero, I think more the player let you down, but
Yeah, wasn't the hero at all.
yeah, it wasn't there. But I don't think that's going to put them off. They won with it as well, and if anything, that game too is the confidence booster. So if they feel like more things to pick, they'll go back for it. And I think it should be the Final Tribe, even though you beat it in that first game. It's a tough hero to break, and your two initiating disablers get kind of messed up by a Lincoln Sphere. Like Sand King Burrow Strike is completely ineffective against that.
But if Pablo gets a fast Blink Dagger, he can do they can be set up. But the only issue is that Silence provided so much disable that it forced them to use all of their stuns to kill him. That's maybe the hard part, but I feel like they have decent heroes against it, like Reflection at 20, Reflection at any point for Terrorblade is a lot of Morphling damage. I think it's okay. Like Sand King can dodge E-Blade multiple ways, Rubik's fairly tanky.
I wonder if they're... The other hero they've been worried about is getting cheese by is the Brood. They've banned that, I think, at least one of the 2 games, maybe even both. Not sure if that's something Katara normally plays or the beta hero.
Surely Sand King can 1v1 that, I assume.
You can, yeah.
I haven't played it in a long time.
Absolutely, but you don't necessarily know if you're going to get the lane matchup, and as soon as you start playing musical lanes, you could be in for a rough time.
Team pick.
So Medusa will be the last ban. They thought long and hard about that one though.
Okay, that makes sense. Like they don't have enough damage to kill Medusa reliably, I don't think. Especially because she would do so much AoE that she could deal with Chen creeps, and Rubik is kind of vulnerable.
Talked a lot about the Katara carry. What do you guys think Era's looking to play as the mid laner here?
Like a soft playmaking core. Like when you have a Terrorblade, I really don't feel like you need to invest in another like huge damage dealer. I usually like to see Puck with Terrorblade.
Pucks,
Radiant team pick.
Pops, SF.
SFs.
A bit greedier, perhaps.
Quite greedy.
Typically not considered a favorable matchup against the Viper as well, and that's a Viper with an Earth Spirit. So
We saw Na'Vi do extremely well with the SF Rubik combo in the first day with the lift into triple raise. So that might be their plan because Pablo does roam into mid lane quite often.
all right, loop done. We got to see a better hurrah. Oh, they didn't even
No,
do it.
they did
No,
one
they did. You
before.
missed it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't worry, they got it covered.
Okay.
All right, last pick coming out here for Infamous. The one to tie it all together.
I mean, I think they got to double down and go on like an earlier timing because they're not going to outscale a Shadow Fiend Terrorblade with any pick, right?
Possibly.
PL crazy.
Nah, PL's great. PL's good.
Yeah.
PL, I mean, you can go Morphling still, or if you want to double down, go through the early game, that's where you bust out like the Visage and try and cheese push really fast.
That's the direction I'd go, honestly.
Oh, it will be the OD.
I was thinking about OD before, but I did not feel confident
Safe
about it.
lane OD. ODs, yeah, and that's not, you don't really want to go for the physical damage carries too much against Terrorblade because of how high armor he is. He's going to outrange you, you're just going to lose that battle. But OD has mobility on top with the Force Blink build, it's not just physical damage.
I just don't have a ton of confidence in OD as a hero. I feel like he loses a lot lately. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen him kind of own a game. It was always like playing from behind. I don't know if you guys feel that way, but
Well, it's going to be seeing if we can get Infamous with those early timings, seeing if the Viper can really take off. And it's going to see if Pablo fulfills the Rubik Destiny table to be able to steal all the spells, including Ravage, perhaps. We'll find out with Capitalist and Blitz.
That's right, we've got a lot of signature heroes on both sides. You got Final Tribe. All right, we've got a Pablo Rubik, Hanskin Chen, a nice aggressive Yonasamfon Sand King. I would say those are all very signature. But on the other side, please, Infamous, Guitaro OD. Oh, that's a beauty.
Prepare
You've got
for battle.
Schofield, really good Earth Spirit. And how could you say no, Blitz? How could you say no to a good old Papita Viper?
Yeah, Papita Viper. Name a more iconic duo.
Absolutely infamous, if you will forgive the pun, in the Americas region.
Everyone
Papita.
knows about the Papita Viper.
Everybody knows.
It's game-
And they gave it to him.
Yeah, it's game 3. It's his own, like, it's his Michael Jordan of heroes, you know?
Yep. Hey, you know, you were telling everyone to calm down. A Warlock for RRQ. What is a Warlock going to do? This is a real signature hero.
Papita Viper. Most teams just ban it. But
Final Tribe left it out there a couple times in a row.
30 seconds
Infamous.
to battle.
Gladly snatch that up in this critical Game 3. Who's going to be moving on to the playoffs? Who's going to be moving on to that final day? and snatch up the first of the DPC points for either one of these teams.
That would be huge for them. There's still more than half the points left to be conducted. You do well here, you start to get invited to things. Both their regions are now starting to heat up, like Pain and SG in South America make it very difficult. Final Tribe have a lot of teams in Europe now to compete with.
Seeing as VP has collected the lion's share of the points and probably will continue to pick up some points, these teams on the lower end will actually appreciate that.
Yeah, you don't need a lot to get in anymore.
No, you certainly don't. And 30 points for third and fourth place, that means 90 points for a team.
Yeah. Oh, especially with teams like OG now being a little bit out of the running. Same with Complexity.
Yeah.
You're going to get some points.
Well, Era, the panel talked about this. They said this was going to be a very tough lane. First of all, he's against Viper. Second of all, he's against Schofield, Earth Spirit, and Papita Viper.
Yeah.
Like, Era is going to be pressured more than probably he was pressured in Game 2 or Game 1, and that's saying something.
Still doing well, though. Already up to 2 CS.
Yeah, Papita's actually pretty low already, and he has another 50 seconds until his shared tango is back up, so Era is actually in complete control of this lane.
You know what it was? He was afraid to bring the salve because
of the Pablo Courier tonight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, if he has a salve, he's fine there, because you just trade out the HP for the mana every day of the week against the Shadow Fiend.
So it may be obvious, but even if it fails, it still serves a purpose.
Exactly. That's the cool part. Oh,
roll in. Missed on Era.
Still. Just getting aggressive, trying to deny a lot of these creeps. That is the entire point of this.
Let's talk about our side lanes a little bit. Chen and Sand King faced up against an OD and Disruptor. And the bottom lane, we've got a tide against the Terrorblade and Rubik. If I'm not wrong, I think Infamous are kind of okay with these lanes.
Yeah, this Terrorblade's going to get, or should get, absolute free farm. But the Tidehunter shouldn't die. Stinger should be just fine. And
yeah, Tide's quite nice versus Terrorblade.
Yeah. Top lane's doing fine. Papita is... Oh, if he gets that roll, that might be a kill. He gets a kick, though.
Still managed to get the kick back. Era is going to turn and fight, though. Already laying some damage into Schofield. Almost brought him down, but a healing salve. He'll get back up to full.
And now all the mana has been used on this SF. Papita should be just fine now.
So Pablo may have to stick around for a little while. Miku actually pulling the creep wave. So they both killed the opposing team's mid ward. Era did that early on at the start. Infamous just now doing it themselves. The OD being actually pretty well pressured by Jonas Sampan. A big reason was because they had a Wild Wing Ripper out that was throwing around a tornado. And that was actually hard for him to play around. Stinger does manage to get the Anchor Smash out. That'll limit a lot of the physical damage coming in on him. He'll be okay. Meanwhile, Miko's the one in trouble, actually slowed down inside the river. Needs to be able to get to that high ground. The Hellfire Smasher is trying to chase him down. Does have a clap up, not going to be able to go for it. Instead, it's going to be Arrow who's kind of trapped up. Schofield gets some good damage on him. Turnaround play, triple raise, and that is enough. First blood picked up by Era, and that is full souls for him.
Very nicely done by Era. They were trying to go for the body block, but Papita just didn't really have the positioning to follow through up with that. That's going to be an easy first blood for the Shadow Fiend, who in the beginning had a little bit of a rough lane, but with that first blood, it's going to be quite satisfied about the results of that dual lane up against him.
Chen getting a ward on the high ground here. Easier for him to play that same game that we were seeing from the Chen before, where he was ganking the supports whenever they tried to play for the rune, and also giving him an easier time to wrap around on that core. Miku, though, is not going to be caught by that. He's actually going to be playing with Schofield here in the mid lane. They're going to go for a smoke gank onto Era. If they get the roll in, they'll get the kinetic field, and that should be the death bear. And they do manage to get the roll in and the kickback. That'll be the kinetic field. So Era, he can only turn and fight. He's going to go for a Papita here. Might actually be able to get him. Papita has to turn and fight. Goes for Era. Close range, not able to get him, but his teammates will. So it's going to be a mid-for-mid trade-off. Not exactly what Infamous had in mind.
I'm going to be really happy about that. You get the XP on the Shadow Fiend. They're doing everything that they can to slow him down, but Era is on point with the raises, good decision making.
Well, that's going to be a roll and miss, but hello, that is a hasted out Tidehunter.
Wait, everyone stopped hitting him.
They want to let Stinger get the kill, man.
I think they were trying to give it to Pepita, actually.
Yeah, probably.
But Pepita also stopped going for it.
Yeah, Pepita walked away from that kill, not wanting to stick around in that tier 1 area for too long. Yonasapan's going to be sent back by the Chen and will TP back to lane. This is giving him a lot of longevity against this OD, which normally would be kind of a rough lane, considering the Arcane Orb harassment.
Radiant are scanning.
Hanskin has been playing the neutrals for a while now. And he is going to go for a dive now that he's got a good kill creep in the Centaur. But they're actually going to run into the zoo supports here. The Courier's going to go to the high ground. Schofield is not going to be Lords in that situation. He's going to be able to roll to a different high ground area. And maybe it's Pablo who's going to be caught. Glimpse not available there for the Disruptor, so instead the dive in the top lane. Minos needs the TPs and he needs it now. Nice in prison save, but Era positioning himself for raise 1 and just a right click. That's all he needs. No second raise required for that kill.
Yeah. Felt like they should have known about that. Maybe they thought it was only going to be the Chen there.
Radiant's top tower
But
is under
really
attack.
nice rotation by Era, taking advantage of this OD being a little bit unsafe.
It's not like you should gank, like you're not expecting the ganking SF, right? You're expecting him to play jungle about this time.
Radiant's
Era
top
giving us a different look with this mid-hero. So what is this Tidehunter doing? Jonas Bond, he found a Burrow Strike epicenter, the kick away from Schofield. That was beautiful. Dodges a large share of the damage coming out from Jonas Bond's ultimate. They'll be okay.
Tide's only level 5.
Okay,
but
they're still going to try and go for the kill on Schofield. He does have a kick, but he has nowhere really to kick it at. Managed to get it on Hanskin. Now Stinger's finally going to reveal himself from that Invis rune, trying to position himself to be able to kill some of these creeps, but his Disruptor is the one in trouble, and Stinger can't really stop that whatsoever. Double kill so far for the Chen, and they're even fighting Stinger. Now that Ross is here, they should be able to get him too. The Metamorphosis trying to get that creep in front of him, making sure that Stinger can't get away, and he cannot indeed. 2-8, final try, bringing some fury here to this game 3.
yeah. And they managed to kill the Viper at the same time with the help of Pablo. I'm not really sure what that plan was from Infamous. Like, you've got a level 5 Tidehunter. I don't know who you're supposed to kill in that position. This hero doesn't really deal damage. That was a really weird setup.
Felt like that Invis rune was just a trap.
Good rotations, though.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Yeah, Final Tribe really keeping pace with Infamous and their attempts to bring some numbers to these engagements. They gotta worry though. All 3 cores of Final Tribe top of the net worth right now.
You almost had it.
That is a precipitous fall. Straight down.
Man, Era's, the way that they keep on trying to shut down Era, he's forced to play this kind of roaming SF, and it's not a bad look either. He's been picking up bounty runes, farming up neutral camps.
He's owning right now.
Yeah.
He's rotated quite a bit. He's still top 3 in net worth. The other 2 being his teammates.
Jonas and Bond. You run out of mana real quick against the Arcane Orb spam. In fact, now he's going to be in trouble. Schofield can actually land the stun silence here onto Jonas Bond. Misses the stun. Now he needs the silence to make sure he can't Burrow Strike away. He's maybe going to miss that too. Is the Chen send back is going to not be in time, actually. Barely dropped the ultimate there. Sanity's Eclipse was enough to kill Jonas Bond before the Chen send back.
Yeah, they needed something like that. It's 8 minutes in, and with 1 tower taken, it's already a 3k gold lead. And Pepita, they thought he was going to win this lane handily, especially with help from the Earth Spirit. But after the first blood, things have been pretty disastrous for this lane. Not the kind of start that a Viper expects.
And he's not able to pressure the lane like he was with the Death Prophet, the tower. Not really able to go for that. Last time around, he was also faced up against an Ancient Apparition. This time around, it's Pablo's Rubik. And Fade Bolt is a great way to ease pressure off of the tower. So they are doing that classic Final Tribe thing where they try and give Pablo the solo experience at mid. And it's serving a nice little duo purpose here as Era continues to move around the map, get more of these stacks that Hanskin just keeps on setting up for him. Burrow strike in, managed to snag OD. OD has an imprisonment, disappears for a little while. He's got the rest of the Infamous coming in hot. They've got a Ravage ready to go. Stinger gonna let it loose pretty soon. Needs to let it loose to be able to save this OD, who's now gonna go for the kill onto the Chen. Burrow strike is gonna stop him from that one though. They need to help out their OD though. Minnows, he's gonna be able to finally get that kill, but Jonas Stefan, he's actually running down Minnows and will be able to get that kill. And now Stinger is having a hard time with Era. Era's gonna let loose that ultimate, hope to be able to chase down Stinger. It is enough AoE magic damage. They get 4 for the Chen, and they used a Ravage for that too.
Really nicely done. They thought it was going to be a bait, but the OD being in such an awkward position and being in such low health made it so that he wasn't able to take advantage of that. And now the stack that they built up for themselves is being taken by Era. He's quite farmed. And it feels as though all 3 cores on the side of Final Tribe really haven't been touched.
What is this Disruptor doing? He's just coming right back. Wants to be able to catch Frost, and he will. Kinetic Field, Static Storm, the Viper's coming in. He does have Sunder, though, and a lot of Magic Wand stack, so this is not a simple kill by any means. Frost is going to be stunned up. He needs to be able to get off the Magic Wand stacks. Maybe a Sunder last second. No. Animation was going out, but not enough. Pablo now has to TP away. No stuns from Infamous are available. So, still, though, they got the important kill. That's going to be the core Terror play.
Big pickup by them. Papita finally getting involved for his team, leaving that mid lane.
11-1 on Viper. Papita, 91% win rate.
You don't give that man Viper, man.
Well, looking at this game so far, seems like it was the right choice for Infamous, or excuse me, for Final Tribe, as they are currently up 3,000 gold. A 12-5 lead at 11 minutes in.
Yeah, this is a very comfortable lead for them. Era has played this roaming sort of style SF post-laning phase.
Yeah, it's been really weird. He's actually going for Yule Scepter, second item.
I like it. It's working out for them right now.
Yeah.
All he has to really do is create space for his TV in a game like this anyways.
And he definitely has done that. In fact, he's actually the higher net worth in this Terrorblade from the kills that he's netted in these fights. It's crazy. And on top of that, again, Huntskin is always stacking. There's always some little duo stack that this SF is able to take advantage. In fact, he just triple stacked for himself.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
This is wild. I feel like we're seeing a new version of Shadow Fiend. Is he just going to give the rest of this farm to Jonas Stefan? He really is. He wants him to be able to get that Blink Dagger. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they do manage to get the glimpse back onto Pablo. He's in trouble. Telekinesis. He stole a Viper Strike and is sent home by the Chen. So if anything, advantage Final Tribe. They stole a great spell and got away scot-free.
Regeneration.
This Chen sendback has been so pesky. Top, they're going to catch Minnows here. In prison, onto the Sand King. Arrow's going to try and chase him down, making sure that he has close range raise. Silence up at the last second, so he needs to finish him off with the right clicks, but Schofield managed to get the double stun. Now the Static Storm is going to be able to grab the Sand King. Stinger comes in, does have the Ravage, going to let it go. Sand King will have the opportunity to still get off the Burrow Strike as well as the Sandstorm. Miko in big time trouble, tries to get the glimpse off, but Era, he managed to let loose that ultimate anyway. Now Stinger in trouble, needs the help of Minnows. Managed to get the imprisonment, but he's been Viper struck up, has no way out of this one, just tries to go for the kill and go to someone turned around on Pablo. A 1-for-1 trade out there, but Infamous looking worse for wear, as overall it was a 1-for-3 trade-off with Final Tribe taking that bottom tier 1 tower at the same time.
The rough part about this is that Final Tribe don't need 5 heroes to win fights anymore. Like, they're able to do it 3-on-4, no problem. The Ravage was used, trying to help out the OD there, but without Papita available, they just don't really have the damage, and they're kind of getting in the same trap they were in the first game, where they just sort of play apart from each other.
Yeah.
Feels like they're making very rush moves this time around. They don't feel comfortable about the pace of the game whatsoever. They thought the laning phase was going to go a lot better in a game like this, especially with the Viper against SF mid matchup. And so I think they're starting to panic a little bit.
Gotta remain calm. That was the advice Splits gave to them in game 2. Oh no, that was an epicenter attempted by Jonas Stefan, immediately silenced by Schofield. They can actually win this fight, maybe. Nice 2-minute stun from the Burrow Strike. Here comes Era though, and that is a big time threat. Infamous Even though they stopped a big engaging spell like Epicenter, it's still not enough for them to be able to take these team fights with confidence. So they're still going to give up their tier 2 tower.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And there's really not a whole lot traded in return. Minnows, Guitaro's just trying to farm up this top lane, but he may still be caught here. Pablo does not have Viper Strike, but he does have Imprisonment. Oh no, he actually didn't cast it in time. Minnows is the one to get it off still though. He's gonna be running into Era and he has no real escape mechanism, so he has to fight Era, chase him back, gets the Force Staff away. Guitaro, can he get away from Pablo in time? Here comes the kinetic field, static storm combination from Miku. Locks in Pablo, but Era gets off his ultimate, and that's enough for Infamous to run themselves away. Imprisonment saved from the Rubik. Cast it on himself, Schofield a little bit low. Era chased him back with another raise. But again, a lot of action, but no kills.
Gonna be a net neutral. Probably better for Infamous in that position. That looked really bad. It looked like they were just gonna lose their OD for free. But good save by both supports as Minos is just playing a little bit too aggressively pretty much all the games.
Yeah.
But this time around, you're not playing a hero like Morphling. You are susceptible to death. Tidehunter now going to be showing himself forward. And as awkward as it sounds, I think they just have to continue to farm.
Yeah.
Because the damage isn't really there for them.
Their OD just needs to get bigger. They caught a kill. Sand King, never mind. Nope, they have the stun. They are going to be able to stop that TP. Jonas Savon still is tanking enough to survive through it, though. Gets off his Sandstorm. Schofield in trouble. Burrow struck up, trying to get the send back on Jonas Savon at the same time as being able to get that kill. So Stinger is not able to get a rebuttal.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
More woes continue. Like, can't really kill anybody. The Chen sendback is been so annoying for them. Pretty much every game that they played against him so far.
Yeah, this is a very different hero for Stinger.
Yeah. If you don't have the burst damage, that Chen sendback is going to punish you every single time.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell Stinger for a second thought about committing the Ravish there, but realizes, like, there's no point.
Their damage is all just slow over time, right? Viper, Earth Spirit ultimate. So they got to get, like, some really good glimpse counters to this Chen sendback. That's not really the way you want to be using limbs. Pablo, what you doing there, buddy? He has Imprisonment, so I think he didn't want to trade that out for Viper Strike. He may just be forced to, though.
He is so comfortable right now.
Yeah. He actually gets a Blink Dagger and is frequently stealing Imprisonment. He has that kind of free escape. That'll be really tough to deal with. We've seen when Pablo's feeling himself and he feel like he can't really die, he just plays super far forward and oftentimes spoiling a lot of smoke ganks and forcing a lot of attention on himself. Schofield running into Hanskin here. It's going to be Miku who's caught. Throws down the kinetic field, hoping to be able to zone back these creeps. Epicenter from Jonas Safan will finish him off.
Strike you down.
Final try. Just keep on hunting, keep on finding kills, and growing their net worth lead. 8K and a tower bounty on the way. This tier 1 tower is going to drop soon. They find a Viper. Jonas Safan is pretty far away from the rest of his team, though. Pablo stealing Nether Toxin. Going to be slowing down Jonas Safan, hoping to be able to get the silence on him. Kick goes out onto the Rubik. Then the silence onto the Sand King. But again, the Chen send back is relentless, and the damage is too slow from Infamous time and time again.
Yeah, feel like a broken record, but no burst means this is going to happen every time. They have really tanky heroes. The Sand King does not die. Every single time you make one of these moves, it just means that it creates further space for the Shadow Fiend and the Terror Blade to continue to farm. That's why Jonas is playing so far forward, because they don't fear anybody.
A glimpse back.
Look at Pablo. Like, this is
yeah.
That's a Rubik 4 position. You don't even feel comfortable jumping on that. He even gets sent back because why not?
Tidehunter is sitting behind OD in the top lane. Now, they're trying to kind of bait him out. The OD has had a lot of free farm lately, and they know he's going to be on the target list of, Moore's back, Hurricane Pike. They're going to try and take this tier 1 tower, slow down some of these heroes, wrap around. They should be able to catch Era here. The Raps goes down, Yule Scepter dodge. But as he comes back down to earth, oh, never mind. There's a Chen send back. Of course, Pablo, he doesn't have a Chen send back, though. All he has is an imprisonment steal, and that is not enough, my friend, for you to be able to get away. Nor is that Earth Spirit kick.
They did commit Ravage for that, though.
Yeah.
And all they got was a Rubik. This is the situation right now. The good news, though, is they caught more than one hero this time. And so the Chen can always only save one, obviously.
And they got a tier 1 tower for the OT, and he is climbing up there in the network chart. He's sitting at 8,600. That's 1,000 gold behind the Terrorblade. Not an insurmountable lead by any means. At least that individual network. Now, Final Tribe as a whole are currently up 9,000 gold.
Just continues to climb.
But you can say at a certain point, the OD's net worth is going to be more effective, even if it's a little bit less. It's just a question of whether or not that Infamous can get to that late game scenario. And that's a long time coming. He needs at least the BKB. Roshan time for the Final Tribe. No interruption possible by Infamous.
Yeah. Infamous without Ravage, and even with Ravage, they're only killing Rubiks. Without Ravage, it makes it even harder for them to contest any of these engagements, as Frost, he just continues to farm. There's not a whole lot that he has to do in a game like this. Like, the game pace is kind of been drawn out, right? Every single time that Infamous goes on somebody that isn't a Rubik, they get sent back because they just don't have enough damage, which means that Final Tribe get to play pretty much aggressively as possible.
Yeah. Metamorphosis will be used to take both tier 2s, as well as that Roshan. So they definitely got their value out of that. Meanwhile, Infamous could only really get a tier 1 tower, and we're really only farming on their OD during that time. Maybe Viper, Papita got a little bit of farm here and there, but not a whole lot to write home about.
This feels like a product of a draft, and maybe a little bit of some of their early game maneuvers. Actually, I don't even know if their draft was as bad of an issue as like those first dives in mid.
Yeah.
Because both times when they went for it, the Shadow Fiend, one of the times he lives, the other time he does die, but first he gets the Viper, so there was no lead to be gained there anyways. So they weren't really punished for any of their cores. Like, absolutely nobody's getting punished anymore.
Yeah, certainly not. And Infamous just have to play a 3 or 4 hero behind OD game. He farms the lane, the rest of the team follows him around, which means that net worth lead is going to grow for the Final Tribe, even if the OD is keeping pace with the Shadow Fiend. Illusions are going to spot all of these heroes. Yonosafan wants to be able to catch him. Now he's got a Blink Dagger as well as a Force Staff, and he spots Stinger. He's going to lead with a Burrow Strike. See if they can try and force a Ravage or something out of him. Now, he does have the movement speed. Static Storm is going to be placed on Yonosafan. Stinger thinking about turning, but Infamous give up on the fight. They're actually going to go for the Dual Scepter combination onto Stinger. He gets stunned out immediately, cracking shells off that stun. Tries to go over the TP out, but Pablo is going to meet him with a Blink Dagger Telekinesis.
Stinger just needed a run. Like,
yeah.
He had a second, but he thought for a second, like, oh, are we fighting? No, Stinger.
The rest of Infamous, they understood what was going on. That was a stall tactic.
Yeah, that was
them
just
to TP out.
Continue to farm, let this OD get a BKB, and maybe they can turn something around, but the last option that they wanted to do was fight.
After all this stalling has now put OD on the top of the network chart, and he's actually closing in on that BKB pretty rapidly. So they can think about fighting once they have that match community item. Schofield is actually in a little bit of trouble. There are a ton of heroes around him. Thing is, Earth Spirit's pretty elusive if you don't know exactly where he's at, as he can do things like this. Create his own little holes through the trees.
Yeah, but the Rubik is trying to meet him there. He doesn't have a TP, but will eventually go back, and now BKB, Blink, onto the Shadow Fiend. There's nothing really that goes through that.
Stinger is going to position himself, scouting a lot of these heroes out. Now they are going to be able to find him here. Stinger again in trouble. He does have that hood. Buys him a little bit of time against the magic damage of the razors, but the Yule Scepter slows him down. He will be caught. Metamorphosis was used by Frost. Oh, sent back there onto the Sand King. He managed to get a burst strike onto Miku, slowing him down, seeing if they can catch him with the rest of these heroes. Goes for the TP out. Yule Scepter not available. Burst damage not there either.
Under attack.
But
Not
they
like
can
this.
go for it. Metamorphosis to the high ground.
Stinger, they need you for this.
They certainly do. They need that big team fight spell because they do not have that BKB yet for the OD. They need every disable they can get, especially with the Earth Spirit now dying. That's a second disable gone. And Disruptor just blew his load. He just threw out the whole entire kit and caboodle. Final Tribe are going to back out now that the buyback is there for the Earth Spirit. They're going to be able to get a glimpse into the Sand King, but a force staff to the high ground. They are going to pursue. Minno's going to be able to catch him as that OD linking down, finishing him off. So the buyback is worth it in the end. Even more if they can actually catch some extra heroes, but locked down by the Chen creeps. Long range kick does actually snag the Chen here, so maybe they can catch him. Papita, force staff forward, Minno's got him. So that will be a second kill. Off of that, Pablo approaching just to be able to trade out some spells. Gets the imprison. Oh my goodness, they just got a glimpse and forced out a BKB usage out of Era.
It's not bad at all. They didn't lose Rax either.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good. I mean, that was just not crazy, right? That was just one buyback?
Yeah. They didn't even lose the tower.
Yeah, that was great.
It's a little scary that that is good for them at this point, but
Yeah.
you'll take what you can get when you are behind like this.
So they've got BKB and then some for this OD, and he's closing in on that level 20 as well.
Yeah. For people that don't know as well, the reason why you don't Yules there is because you still get brought back
Yeah.
by the Disruptor glimpse.
Stinger, careful, buddy. Burrow strike. Bit of a whiff there from Jonas Safan, but that is certainly not a whiff. Era finds Schofield, gives him the classic Yule Scepter Requiem combo,
Dire's bottom tower is
guaranteeing
under
a kill.
attack.
Speaking of Yule Scepters, Jonas Safan, Sand King is trying to get one. Tried to grab the OD there. Failed. He's actually going for Shivas instead of anything. Picks up the Shivas now. He's going to need that movement speed slow. Turns against Jonas Safan. Immediately goes for the Sandstorm, dodging a lot of the damage, baiting out the Courier. Going to be slowed down by the Gush. Jonas Safan looking to Burrow strike farther and farther away. The Chen is far enough back, but they don't want to pursue. Maybe Papita. He's got to be careful with his positioning. Earth Spirit's going to TP, and they actually want to fight this one. Almost catching the Rubik, but OD couldn't get the imprisonment faster than the glimpse back. They managed to catch the Chen. That's an easy one. And
Can't
again,
send yourself back.
they just keep on finding these pickoffs.
That OD's pretty farm now.
Yeah, he is.
He all of a sudden has a pretty reasonable amount of net worth. They're still down 11K, but I think a large part of that is the support difference.
Yeah. I don't think anyone cares too much if the Chen is super farmed. Imprisonment, grab onto Minnows. Now, if he can get the imprisonment with the Hurricane Pike, he might just be able to buy himself some time. Blink Dagger up in 2 seconds. Looks like he is good. That was Metamorphosis used. As long as he gets out, this is a big win for Infamous, but he's running the wrong direction. Just ran into the Terror Blade, which means reflection on him. 5 more seconds for the Blink Dagger. He has an imprisonment to be able to make that combination work if necessary, but it looks like he can just outrun Frost until Era is here.
No.
Yule Scepter, he's going to be caught. Imprisonment, not going to be fast enough. The Requiem is there first, and they caught another one. The imprisonment onto Stinger. He's in big time trouble too. Gets the face boots. Jonas Safan going to be able to grab him with a Burrow strike. No Kraken Shell relief this time around. He's going to be pulled back into the final tribe. Infamous. They lost to no buyback on the OD, and I'm not sure how they're going to be able to repel this one, but they're going to try. Buyback on the Tidehunter. Frost turns around, throws out the Sunder. That is going to be forced out of him. Glimpse back into Frost. They have the Ravage ready to go, but Stinger throws in a little bit late. They're going to go for the SF instead. Catch some of the heroes in the back line. He can't be activated, though. He's going to fight. Here comes the epicenter from on the Stinger, but Stinger doesn't really care too much. He walks that one up, goes to the Gush. They're going to try and get this kill on the Sand King as he comes back down to Earth. Silence up on him. Kinetic Field holding them in. They can actually get some big-time team fights out of this one. The Earth Spirit laying in the damage with his ultimate, forcing the rest of Final Tribe back. On Skin, stuck inside the Kinetic Field. Infamous, not feeling it anymore. The buyback from the Sand King makes them a bit skittish. With no Ravage, Final Tribe are actually going to try and force this one. But they have no Metamorphosis, no Requiem of Souls, but maybe a kill on Stinger. Drop down for the Telekinesis thanks to the Kraken Shell. 3 seconds until the OD is back up. Aggressive force staff onto the Tide Hunter, positioning him awkward, but still gets away from the raise. And now it's going to be Era stuck. Has no BKB. Chen send back again with the Yule Scepter. Yule Scepter himself wants to be able to throw strike away. Stunned up first, silent second. He is dead. Miku looks for more, and they found it too. Pablo, he's going to be caught. Blink Dagger on cooldown. Zed goes for the TP, but a Glimpse will stop him as well. Infamous. They will not be denied.
Can they Roche?
An easy game 3. They will push this out. They'll defend 4 versus 5, and now with the OD up, they're going to go for Roshan.
And there's no buyback now on Sand King. That tanked his net worth. And despite getting the tower, Infamous cuts into that gold lead a little bit, and now they're going to get the Roshan. The creep going to spot this. Infamous breathing some life back into this game. Imagine a scenario where the OD just astrals himself and blinks out in that bottom area. This game would be very reasonable for them to win.
Absolutely.
But they're going to get the Roche instead. And you need Stinger to be in better positions in these fights.
Well, and Aegis and Cheese will make those team fights a whole lot easier. And if he actually gets his BKB, which he delayed in favor of the Shivas, it will make this OD a powerhouse.
This Viper's really smart. Pepita is doing Pepita Viper things. He's level 20 all of a sudden. He's only 1 level behind the Shadow Fiend, despite it feeling as though the Shadow Fiend has been dominating this entire game. You're in a position now where if the Tide gets one really good Ravage, the game sort of resets itself. And that's pretty scary right now for Final Tribe. But it does mean that the Tide has to be really patient. Because you have to force out the BKBs on the TP and the SF first.
Tier 2 goes down as well. That brings Minnows just 1,000 gold shy of this BKB. Final Tribe, they may have taken the Tier 3, and that will open up shrines for them to take. As you can see with the Chen creeps and Terrorblade illusions, they can really get those risk-free. Pretty much no committal whatsoever. Era's actually trying to go for a Scythe of Ice right now. This is all in the Terrorblade to carry this game. Era is fully committing to a magic damage build, and that will fall off.
The Hex is really nice though. Adds another layer of catch. It's good against the OD, who doesn't quite have that BKB yet.
I'll take your tribute.
It just depends on how they use this Aegis though. In the past, in both games when they had the Aegis, they just lost it immediately. This time around, they're using it to continue to farm like they did previously.
You know, magic damage is a big threat when a Viper picks up a BKB, even though he has cheese. Everyone's scared of this SF, and they know.
I like it though.
Yeah.
It's almost entirely magic damage, and the TB doesn't hit hard enough yet, because he also went for a BKB.
Yep. So this damage is going to come pretty slow from the Final Tribe, which is why they need a very crisp initiation. Schofield is going to spoil that. They're actually going to jump, try and kill the Chen real quickly. They pounce on him, and Final Tribe scatter.
All right. They are starting to pick off kills. The double-digit lead is gone. Now it's down to 8K. It was 10K a second ago. Starting to plateau up. And the XP is almost even.
Would you go so far as to say that this is now an even game?
No. 8,000 gold's a lot.
8,000 gold is a lot, but I'm feeling like some of these heroes are getting kind of useless.
Yeah, the majority of it is still the support difference.
Yeah.
I'd say it's like, I don't know, like 70-30?
Pablo, he's caught. Viper Strike turnaround. He does have Era here with the Scythe of Ice and all of that raise damage. BKB available for the Viper. He's going to be able to pop it, turns it onto Era. He's got Schofield as well as Minnows here. Era's going to be forced to use the BKB of his own. Needs to be able to TP out of this situation so badly. Physical damage almost caught him. He is able to escape though.
Still another BKB charge.
Yeah, leaving the Rubik behind. Disruptor, meanwhile. He got caught in the top lane, looks like by the same team.
All right, now it's 7K.
And
they're going to grab this tier 2.
Another tier 2. That net worth lead, it is plummeting right now for the final tribe. And they've got, oh no, Jonas and Vaughn so close to being able to get that blink off on Minnows.
That was a very successful use of the Aegis.
It certainly was.
He didn't die, but it prompted Final Tribe to split up a little bit. Got some kills. It's kind of happening.
So if you're Final Tribe, what do? You start slowing down the game and go for the next Roshan?
Your TB needs another damage item because the Shadow Fiend doesn't hit for anything. Like with the double BKB, you see the uselessness of the Shadow Fiend right there. Like he just has to BKB and run away from everybody. And OD still has a 10-second BKB of himself. Like Infamous's decision to go for these like later BKBs, it was scary at first, but now it's starting to pay off because you've got late game BKBs which are so good.
Yeah, still 10 seconds for Minnows in this next team fight.
That 10-second BKB, like 40 minutes in, is going to feel like an eternity.
Yeah,
for Final Tribe.
You just can't play SF against OD for 10 whole seconds unless you get the initiation first. And Minnows is currently taunting that with Final Tribe after all.
Yo, your Aegis is gone. You need to run.
It's running out. Pablo is trying to catch him right now. Gets the imprisonment. Era. Not going for a Requiem play. Instead, it's an epicenter play with the Scythe of Ice. They're trying to blow up the OD. He's lost his Aegis. Minnows completely misread that situation. Now Infamous. Oh no, a Ravage goes down as well. Everything's crumbling from Infamous. They need to try and get out of this team fight, but they've been caught. 2 down. Now the Viper, he's next. Yule Scepter, Papita pops his BKB. But guess what? He does not have a TP scroll. That's lesson number 1 in Dota 2. Papita. He's going to have to juke his way through the trees. Jonas Vaughn, he's going to find him though. Dead. Gets the Blink Dagger, has a Burrow Strike ready to go. Era is going to lay that physical damage or magic damage into him. That's going to be Papita turning. He actually pops the cheese. He wants to force as much out of Era as possible. It's going to be the Requiem of Souls. They will manage to bring down the Viper eventually, but it does mean they are losing out on 2 heroes in this mid lane push. So that means Infamous can defend with their limited amount of heroes. Imprisonment onto Minnows means that he wasn't able to catch anything though.
Oh, that was not the fight that you wanted to take. They were in such a good position.
They were...
Minnows was so far ahead. He had to have known that his Aegis was almost out. Then he astrals himself. Almost immediately dies to the Hex.
You know, Blitz, I'm not so sure he did know. That was some questionable plays.
His team, if his team is right next to him, that is fine.
Yeah.
I will accept that play every day.
And he doesn't imprison. He just turns and fights and says, you either kill
BKB,
me now or I'm going to lay damage on you.
You BKB and you just go for it.
Yeah.
But his team was so far away.
Oh dear. Well, that's a buyback down for the OD and Final Tribe. They're right back into an iron grip on this game 3.
Like in that position, it looks like Stinger, yeah, that Ravage, it doesn't hit anything, but look at the position that Minnows put him in.
Yeah. He got clipped by something. Blink Dagger gets put on cooldown. Ravage is a complete whiff, but at the end of the day, that was still going to be a bad Ravage no matter what. It was still going to be a lost team fight with no Minnows.
And Final Tribe
he may be caught again. Here comes the epicenter charging up. No, Minnows. He read it. He saw it coming. Barely gets the blink ahead. Kotaro is just... he's going to give me a stroke, man.
Kotaro is
crazy.
Really pushing this
Pablo.
game.
He's going to lead with the imprisonment. Guess what? You're out of mana now. You are super far ahead of your team, sir.
That was well done, though. Era actually missed too. He thought he was going to go for the left, but he just went straight down.
Man, I thought Kotaro was going to die with no buyback. If he gets bro struck, then he's going to get sight. And if he gets those two disables at him, I don't think he survives against that. They're going to go for the kill on Stinger here with the Scythe of Ice. They might just be able to do it. Stinger, oh, burst. Era gets them with the Ethereal Blade.
Era is not godlike, has had a very good Shadow King game.
Yeah,
Infamous, they haven't even been put in a position where they were able to fight with their BKBs. And credit to Final Tribe, they play very fast around the map. And it all starts with Jonas and Pan looking for kills constantly. Like this guy pushes out a wave, immediately hides, looks for a kill consistently, and this is what puts him in this position to begin with. It's very well done. Era's SF has been beast. Like he's taking advantage of the fact that they keep playing split up, and he just gets kick after kick.
He's just gonna go for a quick kill on Amico, saved by the imprisonment, but it is, I think, an inevitable. Okay, never mind. BKB turnaround. Apparently, Minos wants to fight this one, but Minos, this is your only life. You cannot afford to die here. Papita trying to create some space for him. Era's gonna be the target, but Schofield gets Scythe of Ice stuff. He's gonna have to roll out. He'll be safe. A Metamorphosis used, as long as they don't get anything out of this, it's okay for Infamous, and it looks like they won't.
Yeah. His timing was a little bit off, but the play right after where he immediately hexes the Earth Spirit to the left so he can't get caught.
Do you like this Scythe play?
I love this Scythe play.
They cut the Sand King. He's going to be stunned. First strike up in a second, though. Gets the high ground. Never mind. Banishment is there. Actually runs into Pablo instead. Jonas Amon gets off a Sandstorm. They have any counter vision? Doesn't look like it. Jonas Amon, invisibility is invulnerability here in this game 3.
So what we've been waiting for as well, the butterfly on the Terrorblade.
Yep.
This is going to make him finally a threat when it comes to damage.
So you agree, MKB over Scythe on OD?
Is that what he's doing?
Yeah.
I kind of want the Hex.
Okay. I was thinking that too, right?
Yeah, they lack for casual disables right now. Pretty hard. They feel like they have to commit the Ravage every single time. Man, Era's been so good in this game, by the way.
Yeah. We haven't actually touched on this, but this guy was a safe lane carry. And he has just walked into this mid-roll and has done so well for the Final Tribe.
He is playing so quick around the map. He's just getting kill after kill. He puts pressure everywhere. Even with the BKBs on the enemy side, he does not fear.
I mean, like, he just gets run out in all 3 of these games, and he still managed to have top net worth every single time.
Frost
oh my god, the smoke. They're going to run in Stinger here. Stinger is going to be broken up, but Minos comes in, immediately takes out Pablo. They're holding on to their Ravage as long as possible. Minos needs to be able to get away from Frost. They do not have Metamorphosis. This is a bad fight. They're going to slow down Frost. Hopefully they'll catch him. Huge Ravage in the back line. Managed to catch 3 with the glimpse back into the Sandstorm. Make sure he can't Thunder, boys, and Infamous will make this fight work. Era threatening that ultimate, needs to be able to get off the Requiem of Souls or just get the hell out of dodge, and he's opting for the latter. Hopes to be able to dodge this roll in. Schofield not able to catch him just yet. He does have a stun, and the glimpse back. That's going to be able to pull him to his doom. That is no buyback on any of the Final Tribe members. 100 seconds on the SF. I cannot believe that Final Tribe just smoked up with no Metamorphosis.
And Stinger was so patient. All he needed this entire game was one Ravage. He waited out every BKB timing. And now they've kind of...
Are they going to go? Are they going to go? Yeah,
oh, they're going for
the tier 4. They want to end this game. They know something is afoot. Final Tribe have blown none of their buybacks, and it's because they don't have any.
He's bottom Lightstone.
Tier 4's down. Throne exposed. It's a Sand King and a Rubik all by themselves. They're going to try and go for it. See if they can get the kill onto Papita. Casually pops his BKB. Focusing full on Throne because Infamous, they're going to the playoffs. They are taking some DPC points for South America.
They just lost with like a 10K goal. Even after all of that, a full team wipe and racks taken, they were still down 10K. But they managed to win. The BKBs eventually ran low. They got picked up so many times without having to use any of their BKBs that their timers were still up for such a long time. Stinger only needed one Ravage that game.
And he found it.
What?
Unbelievable. I cannot believe the outcome of this Game 3. Watching the first 20, 30 minutes, it felt like this game, it was just open and shut. It felt like Final Tribe were just going to be able to close it out, but Infamous holds strong. Some amazing plays out of Minos. The amount of times that he was on the edge, man, that he was so close to dying without buyback. And he's just one step ahead of Final Tribe.
I'm genuinely stunned that they lost that game. Like, Arrow played so well in that game. He created a ton of space for his team. Hanskin had a billion saves. Like, that should be said. Like, how many times did they get the save off in those clutch situations? It felt like for almost the entirety of that game, except for the last 2 minutes, they were outplayed.
Yep.
But that's all that really mattered.
Absolutely. The end of the game is all that matters. Infamous. They've done it. They've gone to the playoffs. They secured themselves some pro circuit points. I want to give a special shout out to the few people left in the crowd. Thank you, you guys. It's about 50 of you guys, and you are some of the most amazing fans we've had at this tournament. And thank you to the viewer as well for tuning in to this final match and the final game of that match. Infamous are heading to the playoffs, and we are going to a break.
Wah, video lombanya harus diupload sekarang juga nih. Untung internet rumah pakai My Republic. Nikmati internet ultra fast fiber broadband. Welcome to My Republic. Yuk, langganan sekarang.
Mau kemana?
Ke Bromo.
Mau ke Bromo? Tiket.com aja. Sekarang lebih mudah, lebih murah lewat aplikasi tiket.com. Bisa pesan tiket pesawat, hotel, tiket kereta, sewa mobil, sampai event. Mau kemana? Kemanapun, tiket.com aja.
just like that, a game can be over. Just like that, you can win or lose one fight. Bad timing, good timing. It is Infamous that was having the good timing here. They are able to make it through to the top 4 here at GESC Indonesia. We are back. That was an exciting series with a very abrupt ending, Purge.
Yeah, the very back and forth team fights and a lot of sloppy plays. Very sloppy plays from the series winners. I would say less sloppy plays from the final try, but they also had some issues too. And ultimately, the one Ravage that counted, it did finish the fight finally.
Yeah, that was bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like I'm so happy for Infamous. South American team top 4 gained DPC
awesome.
points the first time of the circuit, but it's just it doesn't feel like, you know, with the way they played, like they fully deserve it in some ways. I mean, the wrong word choice perhaps.
No,
but
that's
it feels
how I
like
feel. I thought Tide played bad. That's how I would describe it.
I thought Katara played bad.
Okay, yeah, Katara played bad too.
Yeah.
But he also
yeah,
played
Tide had
amazing.
a rough time.
He also made OD look like a viable carry, in my opinion. Like,
That's
and he kept equal farm to a Terrorblade while doing crazy stuff. Maybe that's how it worked. I don't know.
His Ravage stats got a lot better in that fight.
Cast 5 Ravage and hit 7 heroes in total.
That
and
was,
the final, so
he had 2 whiff Ravages. Is that what that means?
yeah,
No, just one. Sorry, bad math. Ooh.
bad man. I don't know.
But that's this. I mean, I guess the nice thing that this game shows is, for me, it's something like you look at the stats and you look at the drafts, and I feel like the Final Tribe were ahead in almost every possible metric. They had more last hits, more gold. They dealt more damage. They dealt more build damage. They had higher levels. I think their draft just put them in a much stronger position to win that game. But they lose, and what that emphasizes kind of like Dota is a game that gets played. You know, you can't just like take a snapshot and be like, well, this team's gonna win. It's whatever happens in the next play that's gonna decide where the game goes. And
yeah.
I think one of the issues maybe is that some of the times that you're saving people, it's always a sendback. And it was hard for them to ultimately take the mid-racks at one fight. They kept going for Tide. Tide would like barely survive, and then they'd be able to turn around and take a fight with the kinetic field. It's like they didn't have a solution to keep TB alive outside of like just BKB or sendback, and it just felt hard for them to hit high ground.
This was like one of those football games, soccer for Americans, where one team's just dominating the entire game, has possession 80%, you know, not really able to score a goal, and then suddenly the last 2 minutes, the underdogs who've not had the ball all game just suddenly score a goal and win. It's like, oh, like why? Like, do they deserve to win? They didn't play better, but yeah, that last play is what matters, like Scan said.
It really mattered. It mattered for Infamous. They make it to the top 4. The Final Tribe, not so lucky. They fall here. They end top 6 here in Jakarta, which for their first DPC event, I wouldn't think that is a bad thing. Would you consider that a bad thing? It's the first DPC event.
Well, I mean, top 6 out of 8 is not that amazing.
It's not that amazing, but they come here, quote unquote, new into the scene with a relatively fresh roster.
I think I'd just say like they've had good performances. I mean, it's not really about the way they finished in the tournament. I think they did pretty well for their first.
It's good. It'll be a little disappointing because they're going to feel like they could have beat VGJ in the groups. They could have and should have beat Infamous here today. But the fact you're in that position where you were favored to win and it slipped away is obviously a good sign for the team.
Yeah, that means we have 1 day remaining and 3 matches only. We got a South American team in the semifinals. We got an American team in the semifinals. A CIS team and a VGJ Thunder from China, meaning no European team in the top 4, which is actually, I think, one of the first DPC events that happens.
We'll count Navi.
I do like that we have 4 different regions represented, though, out of the 6 present here. That is always
cool.
Good to see.
I would say Infamous getting top 4 is a little bit of a surprise, I guess. The team that on paper should have been there is probably Fnatic, but the path that they had to go through in terms of the seedings and then the bracket they got pushed into, they had to play Navi there. So either way, it wouldn't have been Fnatic and Navi on the other side of the bracket. So
it's because Infamous beat Navi.
Oh, yeah,
then Navi could knock out Fnatic. So Infamous, in a way, they kind of earned their spot there as a result of.
Yeah, they didn't just get an easy bracket. They earned their easy bracket by beating Navi.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. All right, you guys. We've had a very long day. Tomorrow, we're going to have the final day, though. The day where you have to perform to get that top place, to get that championship going for you. It's happening in about 9 hours and 45 minutes. So that's not that much. So I think you guys should get some sleep. We will get some sleep. So we'll be here fresh tomorrow, 10 a.m. for us, for some awesome Dota 2. I'm not sure if anything is going to tip the Fnatic Na'Vi game that we had today, because that was pretty crazy, but we're going to give it our best, and we're going to try to deliver some awesome Dota to you. So we'll see you then.
Mau kemana? Ke Bromo.
Mau ke Bromo? Tiket.com aja. Sekarang lebih mudah, lebih murah lewat aplikasi tiket.com. Bisa pesan tiket pesawat, hotel, tiket kereta, sewa mobil, sampai event. Mau kemana? Kemanapun, tiket.com aja.